Just remember, in the center of the main building is two beautiful. Sure, right. Two beautiful, fine young ladies. Quiet boy. Regional Park, the U.S. Open 2016. And we welcome each and everyone. Call a friend, tell a friend. The two game next is the big game. The big guns is up. Miami Shark versus U.S. All-Stars. What a battle this will be. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's all right here at the Borough Regional Park.
I think it's the Miami Strikers, right? Yeah.
Maybe you can hand the coin to the right. The given lady to hand the coin to the captain who was.
Yeah. Nah. Yes, you're on, Vinny. Well, we're here at the toss quarterfinal number 2, and of course, one of the favorites of the tournament, the U.S. All-Stars, finishing second in their group, and they are going to come up against the Miami Strikers. My information is that the chairman of this tournament, he loves both teams. So we're going to see what's going to happen today. End of quarterfinal number 1. We saw all the action. We actually saw a century as well. And quarterfinal number 2 about to take place. And we have with us the captains of both teams. We have Shane Ford from the Strikers, and of course, a man whose name has become synonymous with the U.S. Open, Hassan Raza from the U.S. All-Stars. Guys, let's have the coin. Heads is the call. Well, the Strikers, they've won the toss, and Ford, I'd just like to get you across here.
I'm going to field first.
You're going to field first, and why is that?
Well, I like my chances chasing. We've been doing it during the tournament, and we are successful with it.
Who are some of the players that we can look forward to on your team?
Well, we have Brian Gale, Young McCarthy. We got a lot of players, young players playing together, and we're doing well. Jamie Smith, he get 4 wickets last night, and he did well in the ball, so he's in. And we got a couple more. Sheldon Irvison, right? In the tournament, a lot of players.
Well, obviously, you need at least 11 to play the game. Let me wish you all the best.
Well, we have 11. That's the number I'm talking about. The guys that I mentioned, they're in the 11.
Good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
Hassan, this is becoming a bit of a habit, not winning tosses.
Yeah, but still, we have good track. His batting here. We batting first last 2 matches, 150 runs we got. We first shaved our target 150, 60 runs because we have a good bowlers. Najaf Shah has bowled very well to reverse swing for last match. And Saeed Ajmal is a world-class bowler. He bowled very good. So there is youngsters and seniors, juniors, first-class players. We all together put in the 100% and good fight.
And you must take heart from what you saw in the first game because the Stallions batted first and scored 264.
Yeah, it was defending. We got up to 70 runs, 170 runs. We chased the target. You know, we have good partnerships. We have opening batsmen very good. Singh is play very good early on to the 6 overs. So we get the plan for 170, 180 runs. Put them the hard time.
Well, good luck. All the best.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, the news from down here is that the Strikers, they've won the toss. I said, a brave young man, they've decided to bowl first.
fi know ja. Capella that na big up every ghetto soldier. Hard cold, but the streets getting colder. Beg Jaja, please take the burden off my shoulder. Enough head missy up me like a folder. Learn as me grow older. In my life, struggles on my face, but me firmer. Struggles on my face, but me firmer. In my life, that's my life. You are gonna full.
Second quarter final. Welcome back. It's between Florida Strikers as they take on U.S. All-Stars. Two power pack team all set and ready to go. With the news, Strikers are fielding first. They won the toss and they've asked U.S. All-Stars to bat first. We'll quickly run through the teams. First, we go with the U.S. All-Stars. They're being led by Hassan Raza, and the side includes Gajanan Singh, Orlando Johnson, Akeem Dotson, Jaskran Malhotra, Junaid Siddiq, Zishan Qureshi, Matt Armstrong, Said Ajmal, Najaf Shah, and Dilhara. That's the U.S. All-Star team. The Florida Strikers, their team includes Brian Gale, Krishna Graham, Jamie Smith, Kenil Irvin, Masood Mohammed Odin Makati, Ryan Francis, Shane Ford, Shaquille Forbes, and Ken Wright. Also included in the side is V. Kumar. So we are all set here. Ivor Henry, you looked all set, and we're waiting here for the second quarterfinal, and it's the Florida Strikers will take on the U.S. All-Stars. With the news, Houston Stallions have made it through the quarterfinal, and they're heading to semi. But now we do have the matchup here between Florida Strikers and U.S. All-Stars, two local teams.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back here to the Central Bowed Regional Park for those viewers who are following us streaming live on ESPN3. We say welcome again to you. And tell a neighbor, tell a friend that we are on, and we are going to be here for the duration of the day's play. Two more matches after this one. We saw a one-sided affair just been completed in this match again. Winner stays, the losers go home. Or if they want to stay and look at the remainder of the matches, they can do that if they so choose. Our official scores, David Maitland, Brianna Anthony, and Wayne. And commentary, we have Lenny Archibald with you alongside yours truly, Ivor Henry. We'll be doing just about the first 5 overs. We're going to bring Bernard in and probably Shaw, and then we'll just take it up again from them. So we know we're in for a long day, so we have to be spelling. We left here this morning after 12 o'clock, believe it or not, having been here since early in the morning. Well, the umpires are standing at ready, and we are set to go. So the U.S. All-Star would have won the toss. Shane Ford called right. And I think there is a Ken Wright in this team also, so he would have called right and elected to field first.
So we are all set here. Gajanan Singh will be the man on strike. And Nakia Smith will start from the pavilion, and here he is. First ball, oh, hammered. Oh, straight into the hands of the man at square. It was struck powerfully, and Gajanan Singh perhaps escapes with a couple of runs, Ivor.
Yes, indeed, and I hope they feel he's not injured. He may have not catch him in the palm. He's down, he's stayed down, he's rolling. Let's hope at least there's nothing broken, but seemed to be in some excruciating pain there. He's rolled over on his stomach and he's kicking his legs. So, disaster here from the very first delivery was a short ball outside the off stump. The batsman threw his bat at it, and he went straight to the man in the point region. We'll tell you who it is. He's still down.
So Shaquille Forbes seems to be the fielder. He took a punishing blow. And of course, he did it all to come up with a catch from Gajanan Singh. First ball outside the off stump and give him a good whack. And straight into the hands of Shaquille Forbes. So we hope he's all right. In the meantime, All-Stars have gone up to 2. And Gajanan Singh gets off the mark with a couple.
All right, well, he's up. At least I hope they have the magic spray to put in his arm. They may very well be his bowling arm. Last night we saw him bowl a couple of medium paces from the far end. So I guess he's going to be one of the strike bowlers for the U.S. All-Stars. All seem to be well. He's staying on. So might have been shaken up there just a little. But batsman lucky to be there. And we are saying Shaquille Forbes lucky to be still standing.
Yes.
Unlucky for Smith not getting a wicket off the first delivery.
Yes, you're right on that. Nakeya Smith, short ball outside the off stump. And while perhaps the ball is not one of the better deliveries you'll see to get a wicket, but as we had alluded to last night, the irony of cricket is that some of the best ball, you don't get a wicket, and some of the poor balls are the wicket-taking balls. So Gajanan Singh gets a better shot in short ball, pulled it over the onside, and he's off the mark and running his first boundary. He goes up to 6, a 6 for no loss.
Yeah, he has got to find the range. He's bowling back our length, too short. We're in the power play. Only 2 men can be outside of the 30-yard circle. So there's not going to be much protection in the deep. So he has got to make sure that the men who are covering the acreage outside of the 30-yard circle, the ball will be going in their direction. So some field changing now.
So certainly Gajanan Singh off to a good start here. He has represented the West Indies at the junior level. He has played for Guyana at the first-class senior level. And so he comes in here with a bit of reputation and certainly history. He's on 6. And we're in the early overs of the power play here, Ivor, in which a couple of fielders could be outside of the 30-yard circle. You look around the field and there is a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward point. Those are the man riding the boundary. So Gajanan Singh settles and waits for Nakia Smith. 6 in the over so far. And a play and a miss. A better ball here from Smith, inducing a faulty shot here from Gajanan Singh. He remains on 6 as you watch Florida Strikers having won the toss and they decide to bowl first. They're taking on the U.S. All-Stars. There's either both teams are locally based.
Yes, indeed. Well, Smith is serving up in 2s. The 2 first deliveries were scoring shots and then 2 dots.
So better ball, a good comeback here from Nakeya Smith. Should have perhaps gotten the wicket of Gajanan Singh. It was a tough chance, but at this level of cricket, you can't say any catch is a tough one. This is cricket of a top level, and you've got to pull off what seemingly was a tough chance. You've got to take them anyway. It's 6 for none.
Yes, well, quite a brisk start here.
Oh, cut away this time. A more elegant shot, and it goes away for 4. Quickly off the bat is Gajanan Singh, and he goes up to 10. In fact, all 10 on the board belongs to Gajanan Singh, and he's looked well. He's up on 10. The score is 10, and that's the end of the first over. Good-looking shot.
Yes, indeed, and that was a better-looking shot than the first one that would have gone to hand. And I think that he's going to try to make them pay for that miss when Shaquille Forbes would have gone in goalkeeper fashion to his right. Did not come up with the catch.
So one of the second quarterfinal in progress here. We saw earlier on, not too long ago, Stallions inflicting a massive defeat on Falcons. They won by 191 runs, 190 runs. With a big century by Rizwan Chima, he got 122. Hamza Tari got 65. And a massive win for the Houston Stallions. This is U.S. All-Stars. They take on Florida Strikers. And the way things have gone here, U.S. All-Stars, they're batting first there. After the first over, they're 10 for none.
Yes, and Shaquille Forbes, the injured soldier who was down, he's going to be taking up the attack from the far end, and he aborts his run as he passes the umpire. Just a trial run, if you ask me. But let's see if he's going to have the guts. They said no guts, no glory.
So Jaskaran Malhotra will be the man on strike. He's a top player himself.
But I say no guts, you're a skeleton.
So ball turned into the offside. Masood Mohammed, one of the better fielders around here. He comes in with a direct throw. And Jaskaran stays home. And Ivor, over the years, I've seen Masood Mohammed in action. I'm not sure if there's a better fielder in the southeast region, but he has impressed everyone who has seen him field. He's one of the top fielder around. And we were saying all along the broadcast in the last couple of days, some of your best fielders are usually placed from backward point to extra cover.
Exactly. Those are busy areas, busy.
So Forbes comes into bowl to Jaskaran, and again, he goes up towards the offside in the vicinity of Masood Mohammed, but this time well away from him. And Jaskaran Singh, he gets off the mark with a single and brings the left-hander Gajanan Singh back on strike. He's on 10, it's 11 for none.
Yes, and like we say, in 2020, that's a specialized position, that point and backward of point. And you can see Mohammed, he's taking the walk over. He knows that is a specialist position.
Yes, and not to cut you, Ivor, and then later on, when the game certainly gets down to the death over, when the batsmen are going for the big shots, I won't be surprised he's at mid-off and mid-on. This is like a paddle-looking shot. Gajanan Singh, one bounce towards backward square. He picks up another boundary. He goes up to 14. It's 15 without loss.
Yes, and he seems to be a shotgun. He's in a mood to be playing shots, and he's taking advantage of the power play, and that's what he was sent out to do, and he's doing just the right thing. Nothing much that Shane Ford, the skipper, can do, but I think the bowlers are bowling much too short. Every single boundary has been short deliveries, and they've been punished.
Yes, Ivor, you're right on that. We've seen a lot of short bowling. Not too sure if they has worked out Gajanan Singh that he can bat short pitch bowling. Will they come back for two off an overthrow now? And Gajanan Singh, he will go up to 16 to 17 without loss.
Yes, and you can see Shane Ford, the skipper, there is trying to perk his men up and saying, "Let's get steady, guys. Settle down." And I don't think they're pushing the panic button. It's still early days yet. Power score for the power play is about, say, 45 on the international scene. Here, we're keeping pace with that.
So Gajanan Singh on 16. He's got quickly off the blocks here. The ball turned into the onside. And just coming back to short bowling, if you're not bowling 90 plus miles per hour, Ivor, you have no business bowling short.
Exactly, especially during the power play period. You're going to get whacked with any good batsman.
Of course, and another part of that, if you're not bowling on a surface like Perth in Australia, in which, of course, very responsive to short bowling and certainly pace bowling, you have no business bowling short here at the Central Broward Regional Park. And while this has really been a good wicket, a true pitch, it's not one of the quickest pitch around. So I wouldn't advise any medium to fast bowler or any seamer to dig it in short here, because the likes of Gajanan Singh, a very talented batsman, he will make you pay on this track here at Central Broward Regional Park.
Well, I can tell you, if you're going to bowl short and you're going to play any shot, it should be played in the direction of Masood Mohammed. I know he's going to try all his worth to prevent runs coming in his direction. But it'll be still ill-advised on this wicket. It's not super lightning fast to keep the ball, relatively up to the batsman. Make them wonder whether they should go forward or back. Put them in a guessing position rather than being that short where they can swivel and pull and cut.
So Smith continues, comes into bowl to Malhotra. Malhotra turns it out towards square leg, and he's off and running. He goes up to 2. And 2 top quality batsmen out here for U.S. All-Stars. Jaskaran Malhotra, a very, very good batsman. He has made a lot of runs in previous tournament, and certainly he's one of the players that play a lot of domestic cricket in the United States.
And that's a better length there from that previous delivery, but it's just that it was directed into the pads of Malhotra.
So Gajanan Singh, he comes on the track. This one is hoisted over long on, and it goes for the first maximum, the U.S. Open maximum of the bat of Gajanan Singh in this game, and he goes massively over long on. That's a good-looking shot. He goes up to 22. It's 24 without loss.
Yes, 600 boundary in the world. It was a massive hit. He charged the bowler. He's showing him no respect, and Smith decided he's still going to go full length. He should have shortened that one. Let's see the comeback delivery.
So Gajanan Singh is on 22. It's 24, ball short, pulled away towards the onside, and he goes for another six over deep square leg. And that's another six off the bat of Gajanan Singh. He has gone quickly up to 28, is 30 without loss.
Yes, and that's off some 12 delivers. And I can say he's taking a liking to Smith here. He has scored most of his runs from his bowling. So Smith in the opening overs coming in for Howard time here. Bowling in the power play. And I guess he's a man accustomed to this. So let's see the comeback delivery. We'll watch and wait.
So Gajanan Singh, as I mentioned earlier on, Ivor Henry would have represented the West Indies at the junior level on the 19. And might have played in on the 19 World Cup. And would have been in the same team with the likes of Kyron Pollard and certainly Sunil Narain when they played junior cricket for the West Indies. And then later on, of course, Gajanan Singh would have been part of the Guyana senior setup, played briefly at the first class level. And news certainly coming out of Guyana in the last couple of months is that Gajanan Singh is on the list of contracted players by the Guyana Cricket Board, and certainly, as you know, Ivor, that has been a popular thing these days in the Caribbean. One way to improve Caribbean cricket, as we're being told, is to get players on professional contracts in which they can concentrate a lot more on cricket rather than hustling for Monday to Friday jobs. So cut away straight into the hands of the man, a backward point. He puts it down, he bubbles it. In the end, he puts it on the grass. And Gajanan Singh survived for the second time on 28.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with the fielder there. Can we see his back on the TV? So he's living a charmed life. He has shots all around the ground, but he's been given 2 lives, and I think he's going to make them pay.
Well, the first one, you've got to give credit to the batsman. It was firmly struck, but this one is a regulation catch at that position. And the score is 30 for none. Jaskaran is on 2. Gajanan is on 28.
Yeah, he's got the bulk of the strike. He's faced some 14 deliveries. Now some 15, I beg your pardon.
So Shakil Ferbs continue. And the score remains at 30 for no loss.
So you're saying the white on the forearm of Shakil Forbes, that was not because of the injury. He started playing with that. So if you're wondering which part of the body got struck from that powerful first delivery when Singh delivered outside the off stump, that's not it.
So Florida strikers would have come out of Group 4. And Masood gets into the act quite quickly. And while a single might have been always on there, Ivor, the effort here by Masood Mohammed is to allow the batsman to hurry home. And, of course, a chance to get a run out.
Yes, you're not going to be ambling anything going in the direction of Masood Mohammed. He's going to make you pay. And Shadeford knows that, so he's going to have men in the backing up area at all times.
And certainly one of the hallmarks of good batsmanship is that you've got to single out your fielder. You've got to know the weak ones and you've got to know the strong ones. And I've seen, ball in the air. He takes the catch. And Gajanan Singh falls for 28. So it's 31 for 1. Gajanan Singh goes, lobbing a ball. And Makati is the man who seemed to have come up with a stunner of a catch. And Gajanan Singh falls for 28. It's 31 for 1.
Yes, he was not 3 times lucky. He would have given 2 chances prior to that. And this time, in goalkeeper fashion, McCarthy dove to his left. It was played firmly, but in the air. And like they say, you cannot get caught off the ground. His mistake became the U.S. All-Star, the Miami. Yeah, the Miami Strikers. It became their. It was to their benefit. I beg your pardon.
So Junaid Sadiq comes out to the middle, and he will join Jaskaran Malhotra. Malhotra is on 3. They have lost Gajanan Singh, and Shakil Forbes strikes. So coming back to the group here, Florida Strikers, they come out of Group 4. The other teams in that group is Benza Pharmacy, Brooklyn Blitz, and Wise Turtle 11. So they advance out of Group 4. And of course, U.S. All-Star, they come from the franchise group. Group number 1, Alma Safi, Stallions, Indian Lions, and the Miami Sharks in the group number 1.
Yes, sir. 30 for 1, and the new batsman.
So the new batsman is Siddiqui, and he guides his first ball straight up the backward point, can't score. He will remain there. Score will remain at 31 for the loss of Gajanan Singh's wicket.
And I can tell you whatever pain Shakil Forbes was feeling from that blow with that wicket under his belt, that pain has long gone.
So a ball defended here by Junaid Siddiq. He's yet to get off the mark. He's faced a couple of balls, and Ivor, certainly we watch Shakil Forbes, but I'm picking up some chatter here that Forbes would have done well as a bowler in this tournament.
Yeah, he's one of the leading wicket takers in this tournament. He is at number 2 at this time.
And the ball played up towards the offside.
And he's a loud appeal, and he's given. You do not take chances with Masood Mohammed. We've been saying that all along. I guess the batter was not listening. He had one stump to aim at, and hit. He did hit. You do not take chances with Masood.
Well, this is not clever batting here from Junaid Siddiq. We made the point. I'm not too sure if he heard us, but one of the things you've got to sort out your fielder. He may not have known the exploit of Masood Mohammed. Masood Mohammed has a very straight arm. And he took on Masood Mohammed, and now he pays the price. It's 31 for 2.
Well, he should have asked us here, because Masood Mohammed is known in this part as the man with the golden arm, not just for his bowling, but for his fielding. And we can remember World Cup 1975, Vivi Richards, he was known for his fielding when he would have run out the Chappell brothers and Turner in the same match against Australia. So fielding in the shorter version always is a plus. So having Masood Mohammed in your team is going to be always a plus. And like we said, he's deadly accurate with his left armers when he bowls left arm spin.
Yes, Ivor. When you do have fielders of the caliber of Masood Mohammed, you're playing with 13?
Exactly.
You're playing with 13.
And that does not include the umpires. So do not think that he's adding the umpire to stay there in favor on Masood's team. We just have to clear that up.
Well, when you have a man of Masood's fielding ability, you do have 13 on the cricket field, so it's a bit of unfair advantage.
So in other words, we just wanted listeners to know that Masood is splitting himself. We're not including the umpires. So with him, we can say 15 fielders are on the field, but the umpires are doing the official duties.
And speaking of Masood Mohammed, I think he's been given the ball. And he comes into bowl here now at 31 for 2. U.S. All-Star being pushed back with a couple of quick wickets here. We saw the dismissal of Gajanan Singh. And we've saw the amazing run out from Masood Mohammed. Junaid Siddiq, he's walked back to the pavilion. And the fact is, Ivor Henry, we saw Masood Mohammed threatened to throw the stumps down a couple of times already. And ball cut away nicely here by Jaskaran Malhotra. He gets a boundary. And as I refer to one of the poor left-arm leg spinner, bad ball is to bowl short and wide. And he paid the full price here. A good-looking shot from Malhotra. He goes up to 7. It's 35 for 2.
Yes, in this format, all bad balls should be punished. That was a ranking loose delivery, a loosener from Masood. Let us just hope that it wasn't because of he had to extend his arm a few times for run-outs. But for his sake, let us see if he can settle on the strikers.
So ball cut away here by Junaid Siddiqui. So our apologies. Jaskaran Malhotra is gone. And so Malhotra is back in the pavilion.
So you're not missing any cricket? So Masood trying to settle down, trying to get to wicket number 3 for the Miami striker. like we said, two locally based teams here vying to stay in the competition. We're into the quarterfinals. This time it's outside the off stump. He plays it up to silly mid off. Knocked on there by the fielder. Can't score. So that was a nice looping delivery. We're still in the power play overs. And Masood been summoned into the attack. In, through, and around the umpire. He works this one off the legs and they're running through for a quick single, which they will get easily. Goes out to wide mid on. Fielder picks up. Batters would have crossed for a single. Score goes up to 32 to 37. Outside the off stump, you're playing and missing, taken there by wicketkeeper Shane Ford. So a dot goes in the scorer's book. So Masood, good comeback. Having bowled at Lusna, first delivery was cut away for 4. Good looking shot. Coming near the end of his over, he goes between the umpire and the stumps. That left arm and the balls, and the batsman can do no more than to block this, and Shane Ford comes from behind the stump. End of a relatively good over, apart from that first ball. So the latest score here is 37 for the loss of 2 wickets.
So Siddiqui is on 5. Matt Armstrong is on 1. So the batsman gone. Jasker and Malhotra, both openers back in the hut. Malhotra for 3. Brilliantly run out by Masood Mohammed. And Gajanan Singh lobbing a ball that probably held up in the pitch for a very easy catch at cover. He fell for a quick fire 28. It's 38 for 2, 5 gone. Matt Armstrong will be the man on strike.
Yeah, 37, beg your pardon. We are going one ahead. We are penalizing the fielding team. So that was just an honest mistake. So Shakil Forbes, it is right arm over. And he's playing outside the off-stump fishing and dry land, but Shane Ford bubbled it. It's a good thing that it was not a touch as far as the batter is concerned. But as a matter of fact, he would have dropped it. But maybe, who knows?
So Matt Armstrong comes by way of South Africa. And he's slotted into the U.S. All-Star team. So it's 37 for 2. Siddiqui is on 5. Armstrong is on 1, and he's driving and driving well. He gets a single out to cover. And that'll take the score up to 38 for 2 in the 6th over being bowled here by Shakil Forbes.
Yeah, so it's good to see Shakil staying in the game, and he was down. We almost say man overboard, man down, but he's a young man, very energetic.
So 89 balls remaining here. All-Stars haven't been sent in by a determined Florida Strikers team. Oh, he gets on the inside edge, and it goes away for 4. So 4 runs, tricky but effective here off the bat of Junaid Siddiq. And that'll take the score up to 42 for 2.
Yes, well, at least he showed signs of aggression there. He got the desired result, not the intended position, but for this, who cares? 4 is a 4.
Yes, Ivor. And one of the benefit of T20 cricket over time has to be the amount of risk that batsman does take. And of course, the format itself is a very risky one for batsmen with 120 balls remaining with all 10 wickets in hand. And some of the successful T20 batsmen around the world are certainly batsmen who bats with a lot of risks. 43 for 2, Shakil Forbes will come into bowl to Siddiqui. And Siddiqui gets a single out to the backward point area. The score goes up to 44 for 2, Ivor.
Yes, and Forbes keeping it honest, keeping the ball up to the bat, unlike Smith, who was really back pitching and was punished, severely punished in his opening 2 overs. But things have settled down somewhat. I guess some of the nerves would have gone off. They've been lifted by the 2 wickets that would have fallen. We would have seen a few drop catches. This time, Forbes Shakil is appealing, but that one is going over the top of the stumps, and it's a leg by, signal there by the umpire.
So it's 44 for 2. Siddiqui is on 10. Armstrong is on 2. Matt Armstrong from South Africa. And Ivor just coming back to streaky shots and certainly their value as it add to the scoring card. You've got to be a brave batsman to get streaky shots. In my opinion, sometime the defensive shots will get you the edge, and it'll go to the keeper, and you'll get caught out. So sometimes the best time is to really give it a whack and see what happens. Sometimes sports has always been played with a percentage of luck, and I think cricket is one sport that you come to a day of cricket and everything goes your way. 44 for 2. We've seen a new bowler employed here. Number 26 has been given the ball.
Yes, and like we said, in that over, Forbes would have been a little unlucky with the ball going past the leg stump. And 4 runs was rewarded for the U.S. All-Star.
So Ryan Francis comes into the attack here. He looks to be like a leg spinner. And he comes left arm around the wicket. Will run between the umpires and the stump. Here he is. Classical left arm orthodox action. Will come into bowl to Siddiqui. Siddiqui is on 10. Matt Armstrong is on 2. It's 44 for 2.
And it's a loud appeal and given first delivery. There's no doubt about that one from our advantage point. The batsman was swinging right across that one, and he was bending at the same time, genuflecting. And I can say that was an easy decision there for the umpire. I can stay from here and say that, but I'm sure in his mind he would have replayed it time and time again within 5 seconds and came up with that dreaded finger to send him on his way. Well, the third wicket will have fallen, and the U.S. All-Star have been sent into bat by the Miami striker. And they started off with a good clip. They've gone up to 44. They've been pushed back by the wicket-taking in the wicket-taking column. And we just have to say the winner again stays and the loser goes home. We're into the knockout phase of this tournament. We're searching for the last 4 teams for tomorrow, and the last 2 teams, I should say, to take it to the finals.
Yes, Ivor. U.S. All-Stars struggling here a bit. They're 44 for 3. They've lost Gajanan Singh. They've lost Amal Hotra. And now they've lost Matt Armstrong. So Hassan Raza comes out to the middle. And Hassan Raza, as we've mentioned, Ivor, let me see if you've been paying attention to the commentary chatter over the last couple of days or so. Who is Hassan Raza?
We'll tell you after this.
So ball played up towards the onside, and Raza gets off the mark with an easy single. Score goes up to 45 for the loss of 3 wickets. Junaid Sadiq is on 10. Raza is on 1. And Ryan Francis, a perfect bowling start. Got a wicket off the very first ball that he started. You don't, as a bowler, nothing can beat your first ball wicket. And he looks good. He's a second leg spinner we've seen here in the Florida Strikers lineup. Same in the mold of Masood Mohammed. But like they tell us from time to time, even if they're 2 left-arm leg spinner, no 2 bowlers are alike. And there are many. Big opportunity for a stumping here. And whether or not might have been a little fumbling from Shane Ford. But an anxious moment there for Junaid Sadiq. He remains on 10 as 45 for 3.
Yeah, Shane Ford is stumping without the ball. You've got the ball in your hand. The bails came off, yes, but the ball was along the ground. A bad miss there. But let's see what... I hope the youngster is not being rattled by that miss. So skipper Shane Ford under a bit of pressure.
So certainly Strikers are putting up a good show here so far. It's 45 on the board, 3 wickets down. We are in the 7th over being bowled here by Ryan Francis. And so far so good here for Strikers. They look to be a very competitive bunch of, I'd say, young cricketers. And ball cut away here by Junaid Sadiq. Can't score. And the score remains at 45 for 3. We're in the 7th over. And I'll quickly turn it over to Ivor. And Ivor, you do have a question unanswered from me, as Hassan Raza will face the next ball when play resumes.
Yes, and I can answer the very easy question. I have an easy answer for you. Raza is a player playing for the U.S. All-Star. He's one of the 11 in the side, and he's batting at this time.
Well, he's the captain. He's wearing number 10. It's 45 for 3. Siddiq is on 10. Raza is on 1.
Yes, indeed. So the skippers got to lead from the front, and like I said, they started off on a canter, and now they're in a spot of bother. But nothing to worry about. It's early days yet. It's a 2020 encounter, and we are under the South Florida sunlight here. It's blazing. Good for cricket.
So it's 45 for 3. It appears Shaquille Forbes will continue. 3 overs, no made 1 for 14. He's bowled well. And in a T20 match, if you're bowling 3 overs, 1 for 14, Ivor, that's good bowling in this format. Ball turned into the offside here by Hassan Raza, one of the youngest to have played Test cricket. He played Test cricket at 14 years, 227 days. And in fact, speaking of some of the youngest players who would have played at the international level, at least in Test, all top 3, the first 3 comes out of Pakistan. There's Mustaq Mohammed. He would have represented Pakistan 15 years and 124 days. And of course, number 3, Akib Javid. You remember him?
Yes.
Pakistan fast bowler. He would have made his debut at the international level at 16 years, 189 days. And my big question to you, Ivor Henry, what were you doing at 14 to the 16-year-old period? Were you playing cricket?
But of course, every kid at my time, you had to play cricket. You have to do your chores, but you're going to be playing cricket in the streets at least.
And as a West Indian, let's head over to the West Indian camp and see some of their younger players who would have played international cricket and certainly Test cricket at a very young and tender age. Sir Garfield Sobers, he turned out for the West Indies at 17 years and a few days. Jeffrey Stallmeyer, around the 18-year-old mark, and Craig Braffett. He was about 19 when he played for the West Indies at the international level. So,
well, you're missing my star. You're missing El Comido Willett, who would have represented at 19. Look that up.
So 47 for 3 as ball taken on the pad there by Hassan Raza. He remains on 2. Siddiqui is on 11. And the way things have gone here, Ivor, you've got to say that Florida strikers are giving a good account of themselves. They've won the toss and decided to bowl first. And with 47 for 3 in the 8th over, things have gone their way.
Yes, indeed. But back to El Comido Willett out of Nevis. My claim to fame is that I played for Nevis alongside El Comido Willett, a little giant.
So ball turned into the onside. Thanks for that information. And take the score up to 48 for 3. So Florida strikers are holding U.S. All-Stars on a very tight rein here. They're snapped up 3 wickets already. And so far, so good. We've seen excellent fielding here from Masood Mohammed, threatening the stumps on a couple of occasions. Finally got it right. And so far, so good. I'm pretty sure the Florida strikers will be very happy with the way things have gone here.
Yes, indeed. And the batsman is covering up, goes out to extra cover, can't score. So Shaquille Forbes would have completed his allotted 4 overs for some 17 runs. He would have taken a wicket. Good going young man. The very first delivery, we thought he was down and out. But he has gritted it out. I think he's still be in a little bit of pain, but he's taking one for his team. And he got a good pat on the back there from his teammates saying, well done, my good man. And Shane Ford is encouraging him to stay on. He may very well be a motivator. Sometimes the mere presence of a cricketer on the field, as we used to say, Darwin Sammy stands in the slip and clap his hands, but he was very effective with that.
Yes, Ivor, you're right on that. And when you have fielders like the likes of Masood Mohammed, it inspires the other two to really come on and get on your feet. So you're right on that. It is by no accident when the likes of Jonty Rhodes, for example, were such a feeling giant in the South African side that everybody from the South African team was beginning to feel well. And like anything else, the opposite also applies. When you have a team just ambling around the field, everybody starts to amble after that because, as they say, sometimes attitude becomes contagious.
Yes, indeed. This time, this one is tickled around the corner very nicely. They're going to be runs here, 2 at least. They just ambles through. I think the first double we've seen in this inning.
Well, in fact, yeah, you're right on that. So the first, in fact, the Gadjan and Singh would have made a couple of runs at 1.2. So 50 on the board here for U.S. All-Stars. They're batting at 50 for 3. We're in the 9th over. And Ryan Francis 1 for 3 so far. He's bowled well.
Well, I'm here looking at the game. Vanard said my eyes are red, but my pupils are intact. I can see.
So Junaid Sadiq, he's on 11. He's the non-striker. And Hassan Raza, good-looking shot here. Will only get a single. Beyond the 6 over power play period, there's always protection out in the deep cover area, Ivor. So many times when you play those big flowing off drives, not much you get unless you probably go square. It's 51 for 3. Siddiqui is on 11. Hassan Raza is on 6. And we're watching a great enthralling contest here as U.S. All-Stars. Certainly one of the favorites here in this tournament. They have done well in the preceding U.S. Open Series. I remember might have been 3 years ago they got into the final of the U.S. Open. A good-looking shot inside out here from Siddiqui, and it goes away for 4. That's a lovely shot. Good, nicely placed. And Siddiqui goes up to 15. It's 55 for 3.
Yes, he gave him the charge there, and he picked his spot. Once he got it over the man in the extra cover, it was always going to be 4. And like I said, the partnership is growing. They're playing it right. They're not taking too many chances. It's gone on to 11. And like we said, the skipper sometimes have to lead from the front. Thus, we say we need a skipper's inning.
So you look at the projected score based on the going so far. The projection is 122.
We have a substitute is going on, so we have to keep a check. So is that Shaquille Forbes is coming off, and he comes off to an applause from his teammates down below us. He bowled with grit, having spilled the first one, and trust me, he tried to make that catch from the first delivery. He was powerfully struck outside the off stump, and he dove in goalkeeper fashion, but just couldn't pull it in. So he got an A for effort.
Yes, Ivor, and there's something about the first ball of a cricket match. How many fielders are really ready off a very first ball of a cricket match? So he may have caught Shaquille Forbes just waking up to know that, hey, we're on the field. First ball is about to bowl. Apart from the keeper, many times you're not very alert after the first ball.
Well, it did wake him up because he came back to bowl a good, nice, tight spell of 4 overs.
So Brian Gale comes into the attack. Ball cut away nicely here by Hassan Raza. And Hassan Raza has a 50 in this series already. So he's been among the runs. But certainly a couple of players here will have to put up their hands and post a good score here for U.S. All-Stars. They've been rocked back by 3 quick wickets here, certainly by Florida Strikers. And they're batting at 56 for 3.
And Shane Ford collects cleanly, and something happened with that first delivery. The ball went to sweeper cover, and the sweeper cover rolled the ball back into the bowler. I thought the batsman should have stolen a run there.
So ball guided away. Fielder is giving chase. He pulls it back.
Yes, and looks good there. He did not touch the rope while the ball was touching him. So good effort, good round of applause there from his skipper. Said, that's all I ask of you. Give me 100%. And when you would have done your best, not even the angels in heaven can do better.
So a couple of runs there for Junaid Siddiqui. He goes up to 17. And ball, a poor delivery heading down the leg side and pulled away for 4. So not a good ball there from Brian Gale. Given the full treatment by Junaid Siddiqui. He goes up to 21. Is 62 for 3.
Yes, he could have just picked any spot and just get some willow on that, and he was always going to be a boundary. Like I said, that was a ranking long hop. That's the worst delivery we would have seen from Gale, believe it or not.
Yes, Ivor, but we made a point in 2 days of being in the commentary box that sometimes those balls get wicked. And sometimes it doesn't matter how a good ball is a good ball and a bad ball is a bad ball. 62 for 3.
Yes, but if you were to get a wicket from a bad ball, a wicket is going to go in the scores book. Not saying anything about it was a bad ball, believe it or not.
So ball cut away up to wide. Third man can score is Junaid. He remains on 21. Hassan Raza is on 7. And we've got 61 balls remaining here. U.S. All-Stars, they take on Strikers in jostling for a spot in the last 4. With the news, Stallions are already in. And Falcons can take the day off.
That's the official wording?
Yeah, Falcons can take the day off. What do you suggest for them to do in Broward County?
I thought they would go probably to the beach, but my recommendation was for them to go, if they're going to leave the park, to go home and look at ESPN and listen to you, Lenny.
So 62 for 3. Ryan Francis will continue his ball. 2 overs, no made, 1 for 8. In fact, 1 for 8. And so he has bowled extremely well. Hassan Raza is on 7. Junaid Siddiq is on 21. And 10 overs gone as Ryan Francis will continue and will come into bowl to Hassan Raza. Raza is on 7. Punches this one off the back foot, will only get a single. And like anything else, Ivor, you've been around cricket long enough. You know once the power play is over, have ended, the offside becomes a very packed field, and you've got to bat and bat well through to get the ball sometimes through the offside. 63 for 3.
Well, I didn't see that this morning when a century would have been scored here, and I'm sure it wasn't scored within the first 6. It was shots in galore. Beautiful century.
So Rizwan Chima, oh, he drags it on.
No, he missed it. Beg your pardon. Oh, my goodness. we thought he gave it up there. He went through everything. I beg your pardon.
So 63 for 3. Oh, and coming down the track, fielder has a play on it. Number 24 takes the catch. And that's the end of Siddiqui. Is 63 for 4. Number 24 comes up with a well-judged catch. It appears to be Graham, Krishna Graham. And he takes a good catch. Is 63 for 4.
Why did he do that? I mean, he just escaped. Had me all anxious in the commentator's booth, shouting, bowled him, and the very next delivery, he gave his wicket up. So Francis has gone in the wicket column continue. As a matter of fact, this is his 2nd wicket. And this time we'll be changing commentators right at the fall of that wicket. So we're leaving you at 63 for the loss of 4 wickets. The partnership would have yielded, and Vinod and Shaw will tell you for the remainder of this match.
Thanks a lot. And again, the 2 very devastating commentators. They're off. It's 63 for 4. And hopefully Shah can lend some stability to the U.S. All-Stars. The score 63 for 4. And a big role here to play for the skipper, Hassan Raza. I was listening on to Lenny, who gave his stats, being one of the youngest players to have played for Pakistan, to actually have played Test cricket. And he's still playing. He told me that he has 6 months again to play for the UAE. He's playing for the UAE now. And he's also doing some coaching there as well. With him at the crease, Dilhara Lukaheti. And he is yet to get off the mark. Welcome, Shah.
Oh, thank you, Winnie. I'm a little kind of surprised, in a sense, you call it, that that the All-Star has a kind of unusual slow start.
I'll tell you something, though. This is a good performance by the Strikers, because of the fact that they are seen as the underdogs going into this game. And what transpired in the first match, when the Falcons were really taken apart by the Stallions, it showed the gap. It showed the gap with the number 1 ranked team at the end of the preliminary round, playing the number 8. You're not really seeing that so far here with the number 2 coming up against number 7. These guys are holding their own. They won the toss. They decided to take first use of the track in terms of bowling, and they're holding their own.
And their bowling is not bad. I think they have a very strong team, or balanced team, I would say. They may not have stars in them, but they are overall pretty tight team. They haven't lost any game yet in the preliminary round in their group. And here, there seems to be very confident that they can put up a good fight for this game. And so far, I think they're showing some signs of controlling the high-profile team in control and check.
Yes, definitely so. And sometimes you don't need a star; all you need is a sky. And these guys, they're fighting. Of course, Shane Ford, an experienced man, is leading the team well so far. Raza will have to take his team out of this one. 64 for 4 after 11, reflects some sort of control by the bowling team. Francis has bowled beautifully, 3 overs, 2 for 10. And is it Gale who's going to continue?
Yes.
Gale from the far end.
That's Brian Gill. No relation to Chris.
Quicker delivery there. That's lapped around the corner by the experienced Raza. The Asian batsmen, very good at playing the lap shot, playing the sweep shot. They normally bring out the broom. I was in conversation with Vivian Richards about 2 weeks ago. Told me he absolutely hated the sweep shot. And my mind takes me back to some of his innings. I really did not see it. I don't know if you guys saw him, sweep the ball a lot. And this one is cut away. And there's a man at backward point. Tidies up. No run. Yes, it's back to Viv Richards. I think I don't really recall him using that shot too many times. Here comes the lap shot again. Seems to be a favorite with these Asian players. Look ahead, he playing it as well. Richard said that he rather push that same delivery that he would have swept, push it up the mid-off or mid-on, play it in front of him.
One thing I noticed you're quite correct that you look at the player from the Asian countries and you look at the player from Caribbean, New Zealand, Australia. In that area, you find a little bit of the style of game they play, like strokes they play. Mostly they will Zahir Abbas was a sweep shot player, and you look at the other prominent player from there, they all play sweep shots.
Raza cuts this one down third man. The short third man makes a meal of it, and there is a single for him. And Raza is an experienced player, as you know. He has been around since, at least Test cricket since the age of 14 odd. So he has the experience to take his team through this one. Lukaheti is going to look to hit the ball. Delivery offside, the off stump, and he misses.
He's been playing big time cricket for almost 25 years and over. So he's a very polished veteran, although he's young, but because he started at a young age, that experience bringing him into the field, and which is what we see and we expect him to carry out. This shows leadership and building the team out of this unexpectedly slow run rate.
Well, Lukaheti is there with him. Lukaheti is built in the mold of an Angelo Matthews, a fellow Sri Lankan. And he's out there. He can hit a long ball. Raza is on 11. He has so far faced 15 deliveries. Lukaheti is 1 of 4. And Gale completing his over just 10 runs. Raza pushes this away down through a 4th of point. There's a single. The bowler in his approach actually crashed into the stumps when he turned around. And Lukaheti is now going to come on strike. 1 of 4. Lukaheti is the kind of batsman who is going to try to hit the ball. He's not going to hang around there too long without scoring. So this makes for a very exciting period of play. Delivery well pitched up and pushed away to cover. There's a man on the short third man. There's a man at point, 1 on the sweeper's position. There's a cover, 1 at long off. The sweeper is now being sent to more of a long off position, a wide long off position. There's a man at the mid wicket, 1 at long on, deep backward square leg, and a man on the mid wicket boundary. As this is Francis in his final over, and Lukaheti gets a good delivery, searching, probing bowling here by Francis. 3.3, 2 for 11.
Very tight bowling at this stage. Usually he swept to the fine leg for a single. But I got to admit that team is surprisingly bowling very tight line and length, and putting the players into the defensive strokes.
Cut away by Rasa. I think he would be disappointed with that shot. There was room to play, to pick his spot really, and he picked out the guy at backward point. He has not been finding the gaps, Raja, and that's something he would want to improve on. This time he hits it forward of the man at point, down to the sweeper's position, and he gets away to the non-strikers. Then end of the over, end of a very good spell there from Francis. 4 overs, 2 for 13. Hassan Raza is on 13, 2 to Luka Heti, and the score 70 for 4.
I like their defensive fielding placement. You notice most of the players are placed strategically on these spots, and they are right up to the 30-yard line. So if All-Star or Hassan or Delara wants to take a single, they basically have to play a quick single on the left side or onside or the offside. But if they're going to punch the ball, it will be very difficult to get passed by the players standing on the offside, and bowling very good line to the where the fielding is.
Well, there's an obvious plan. Gale is bowling outside the off stump, and there's a huge gap on the onside. There's actually no one at a short mid wicket or a mid on position. There's a man straight back on the mid wicket boundary and on the long on boundary. So there is a single being given away. This time, look ahead, he flashing outside the off stump, and he's caught behind by Shane Ford. Wonderful catch there by the wicket keeper. Look ahead, he getting a short delivery outside the off stump, and of course, because he was in the mold of defending, could not make full use of that. He's on his way. He's out caught behind, caught by Ford off the bowling of Gale for 2. He faced 8 deliveries, and the U.S. All-Stars, they're in a spot of border at 71 for 5.
Surely situation doesn't look very good for the All-Star. The way their batting order seems to be collapsed a little bit in the early stage, and which put the pressure on the middle order to perform. And middle order is playing under pressure, and we're not living up to the expectation to go. I think somebody has to help out. Like Dotson is there now. Dotson has to help us and Rosada get out of this jam at 71 for 5.
We see how Dotson go about his business. All depends on Raza now, to be honest. And I was just told that Ford actually does everything. He's chief cook and bottle washer for this team. He's also the coach and manager, captain. Seems to be marshalling his troops very well here this morning. And, 14th over, we're into the 14th over, and he's brought some sort of discipline to his squad. He's a no-nonsense man, so much so that they have not bowled a wide, I'm told. I see Ivor Henry is under the table. I'll tell you something, U.S. All-Stars seems to be under the table as well. This is a good shout, and the umpire has given him. Dotson goes first ball. He looks disappointed, but I'll tell you something, that looked a good shout from my vantage point. Dotson probably indicating that he must have gotten an edge onto that, but I'll tell you something, that was wicket to wicket, and he looked out to me from our vantage point here. Dotson goes back without troubling Maitland again. Maitland is having a wonderful Saturday, and the score now goes on to 71 for 6. Hassan Raza is on 14, and 14 on the other end. He's looking on at the damage. And Brian Gale, 2.3, 2 for 11. Is there an upset on the cards here, Shah?
That's the way it seemed, look like. Although we do know that the All-Star bowling lineup is also a good bowling lineup, and they all are professionals, so they know how to get out of the or win the tight games. But this is very Florida Strike gets all the credit. We can tell them that they have played the very good planning strategy game, and they have bowled line and length, tight bowling, and it's paying off for them.
Yes, definitely. Wicket to wicket, discipline, bowling, just keeping it basic. I said before, sometimes you don't need the stars, all you need is the sky. And these guys, they think that the sky is the limit, and they're going about their business well. The new batsman, Saeed Ajmal, experienced player, of course, a top of spinner, handy with a bat. He would have played some defiant knocks for Pakistan in his day. And he is out there now with Raza. Gale is on a hat trick. The off spinner. Ford is actually coming down close to the dugout. He's asking for a helmet. So play held up a bit as Ford looks to get a helmet that will fit his head.
He's almost right to the rope. There you go.
Well, he found one. And I think what he's going to do is he's actually going to put some pressure. This is good captaincy here by Ford. I like this. I like what I'm seeing. I like the aggression shown here by Ford. He's actually going to put in a silly mid-off. Although I'm not too happy with what I'm seeing. You have a man there feeling a silly mid-off. He has a helmet with no grill. Gale bowls and the hat-trick avoided as Ajmal places down to mid-wicket for single, and the score now goes on to 72. Well, a helmet without a grill at that position could lead with the player getting a date with the dentist.
Yes. Well, wearing or not wearing without the grill really doesn't matter anything because it's not safe.
Brian Gale, 2.4, 2 for 12, score 72 for 6. Gale again just bowling wicket to wicket and having to chase his own ball because there's no one at that mid-on position. Ford is now sending a player there to occupy that piece of real estate.
This is what I was identifying earlier, that if you look, defensive position is all on a burn, that if you punch it a little bit harder, you're not going to get the singles unless you just play a... Oh,
good shot by Ajmal. This delivery lined on the leg stump, and the Pakistani off-spinner getting into his wicket and just helping it around down to the boundary for 4. A crucial hit there for 4 by Saeed Ajmal. The score goes on now to 77 for 6. This is the end of over number 14.
6 hours to go. The projected run target is 110, which is not a fighting score. That happened. At least the score has to get up to 130 to 140. Then I think the All-Star has a chance to defend that score. But 110 is kind of depends on it how their opening partnership goes and opening top order batsmen play. And if they play a little bit strong partnership, then it can put All-Star in the pressure to defend the total.
Well, Mohammed is coming into the attack again. He has so far bowled 1 over, no maiden on for 6. He's going to bowl his second over left arm orthodox. He's bowling around the wicket, given some room. There was Raza just playing it down to the sweeper's position on the cover boundary, and the score moves on now to 78 for 6.
Hassan is really playing intelligently and not rushing the shots or for it. And as his single he's happy with the single at this stage. And maybe in the last 5 overs it may change. We don't know, but I don't have too many wickets left in the hand to play aggressive cricket.
The experienced professional Saeed Ajmal comes in to strike now and cut this delivery away. It bounces just forward of point, and he gets a single.
If they continue to single, at least one ball will get them 6 runs in the over, which is much better than what they currently have run rate.
Swept away beautifully by Raza. Forward of square for 4. Obviously, seeing a huge gap there. between the man down at wide long on and deep backward square leg. That delivery pitched up there by Mohammed and a pretty safe shot by Hassan Raza.
Yeah, and a confident shot.
Mohammed again and sensible batting by Raza. There's a player that has been put right back on the square leg boundary. He gets the single.
Very interesting fielding placement that they have. They have 5-4 combination in there, and they're all strategically on the onside. They're all on the boundary lines.
Shorter delivery, given some width there, Saida Jamal, and he forces it away on the offside.
84 for 6. Raza on 21 off 23. Ajmal on 7 off 4 balls. And there's a 14-run partnership.
Good delivery there by Mohammed. Pushed away for single. Brings us to the end of the over. It's 86 for 6 at the end of over number 15.
Current run rate is 5.7, which is kind of below average in T20. Considered as a below average in T20.
Couple good overs needed right now from the U.S. All-Stars.
Yeah, there are only 5 left, so let's see how they make it up. 30 balls. I think it's get to 130 would be a good, recovery from where they were.
130 is a fighting score given the type of bowlers that Raza has at his disposal. Ajmal, of course, will have to lead that fight.
Good punch shot. Straight down the mid-on.
Good bit of fielding down there. And it restricts the batsman to 2.
I think he's happy whatever he's getting at this stage. And slowly is, getting up to the mark.
Well, if he can take it up to about over number 17, leave 3 overs for some slugging. As he sweeps this one forward of square, that's his pet shot. Wonderful shot there from Raza. Gale, of course, the off spinner, bringing the delivery back into him. So he's confident in playing that shot. And they split it forward of square for 4.
.28 off 28. Gale is on last over. A couple more balls to go. I think they're going to try for 2 now. Good fielding.
Ajmal, there's an appeal for caught behind. Ajmal is not interested, so to the umpire, only Gale and Ford were really excited.
I think there was a good appeal, but
end of over number 16, it's 93 for 6.
hot day. Sound like it? And the batsman need a little bit of a drink.
Seems to be very humid out there somehow.
Yeah. Break in action. Muhammad is coming to bowl, I believe. Yeah. They seem to have a balanced spin attack there from the Florida Strikers.
Yes. Definitely, Shah.
Sometime in T20, a spin really does the job because better than the attack in some cases, and this is one of those team that really relying on a spin attack and controlling the game. What interesting is that instead of batting controlling the game, is the bowling team.
How in your estimation, Shah, how has the pitch played so far?
Pitch, I said, I'm really what we saw this morning. Pitch was shiny and everything else, and if bowler bowls a ball, it helping the bowler who bowling a line and length and in wicket to wicket. It's not helping them. It's helping the batsman if the ball is out of the danger zone.
Well, I'll put it like this. In my opinion, I think there is something there for everyone on this pitch.
Yes.
The spinners, they're not getting generous too, but yet, added to that, there is also the variety of an extra bounce for the spinners. Ajmal queuing up to go big with this one. He slashes it square. He's looking for the second one. I thought that Raza could have made a better attempt at getting back to the non-strikers end. 16.2 overs bowled, the score 95 for 6.
See, in the first game, the bowlers were not bowling in the area they're supposed to bowl to get the support from the wicket. But in this one, they are bowling into the area where, as a danger area, I call them, and they are very successful in basically controlling the game. The game is in right this point is controlled by the Florida striker.
Raza drives again to cover to mid-off, sorry. He's looking at the pace, the offside field. If he gets it past that man there, it will go into the fence. Here he is again, pulls out his favorite shot. This one is racing towards the boundary. It's going to be picked up down there. Only a single. And Raza goes on now to 96.
There goes Ajmal, and his ball is up, but fielder was not in position to dive in and take it, so he conceded 1 run.
End of over number 17. It's 97 for 6, and I would like to say it's a third-day pitch because of the fact that the covers are off, and although it's a second day of action, it's actually the 5th match on this pitch. The one that's been utilized right now, Shah.
Yes.
I still see it as a third-day pitch. There's this sheen on the pitch if you look at the batsmen as they are walking around. And the pitch has held together nicely because the ball is coming onto the bat. And given what I've seen over the past few seasons here at Central Broward, this pitch and the pitches we've seen even from the India-West Indies game coming forward, I think are the best that we have seen on this venue.
Yeah, I agree.
McCarthy from the Delray Beach end. Is that the Delray Beach end?
McCarthy?
Yes, McCarthy is bowling from the far end.
Yeah.
Delray Beach end. That's the Delray Beach end.
You know, Palm Beach.
Palm Beach end. This delivery is forced away down to backward point. Chance for a run out. There is also the possibility of a second run. Ajmal not too happy. In fact,
run out.
He has been given out, run out.
This is a good.
Ajmal actually turned and was looking for the second run, and he was run out.
I didn't see the appeal as usually the excitement appeal that happens with the run out, and.
Well, I think everyone was preoccupied with
yes.
the overthrow.
Yeah.
But Ajmal was actually run out. So 7 wickets down now, the score.
98 for 7.
98 for 7.
Anything is possible. I have seen the game when they one team has got out for 71 and they got the other team out for 68. So things can happen. Zishan Qureshi is coming on to bat. He's on the striker. He's going to face the first ball from Makati.
Let's see how Zishan goes about his business. I think his role here is to get the single and give the strike. And Qureshi uses his feet and places down the backward point. He's off the mark with 4. He stepped into his wicket to put the bowler off. Gale went wide and full. And because of the fact that he was walking across his stumps, he was able to reach that one and slash it away down the backward point for 4. And Qureshi brings up the 100. It's now 102 for 7 with Raza on 31 at the other end.
And that's the first aggressive stroke that I've seen in a while.
Again, this
boy,
is...
he's going. He means business.
Yes, this is powered away down to the extra cover area. He's going to get a single. Total of 14 legal deliveries to go. I think they're targeting 130, 140. If they can get up to that.
That will be a winning score, actually, in my opinion.
But Raza has to turn it on.
Yes.
The only way they can do that now is for Raza to turn it on. As the McCarthy again from the Palm Beach end. This is played away by Raza, who would have played. I would have loved to have seen the wagon wheel of his innings. He would have played a number of shots down to that backward point region and has not been able to pierce the field. Here comes McCarthy again to Raza, and he plays his pet shot, which is the sweep shot down to the boundary for 4. Wonderful shot there from Raza. That's his pet shot, and he's pulling it out at a time when it's much needed.
And he positioned himself playing almost outside the off stump to get that shot.
107 for 7. I think their first target may well be just about 23 runs over the next 2 overs or so. You get to 130 and you fight. I don't know how good the strikers' batsmen are. They're coming up against a test bowler in the form of
Najaf Shah.
Well, Najaf Shah is actually bowling very well. I was speaking about Saeed Ajmal, but Najaf Shah is actually bowling well. In the last game that he played, he got the ball to reverse swing, and that was very dangerous indeed. And we wait to see. I think the key will be him. And
Delara will be another one that be a key factor.
Qureshi himself, he can hold his own with the ball.
Yes.
But right now he has a bat in his hands. And let's see how he goes about his business as Mohammed, none for 19 off 3, into Qureshi. Qureshi's down the track, pushes this one away to short cover. There is no run.
Qureshi probably going to go business of hitting boundaries, try to hit a boundary.
This is a flatter delivery, and it's squatted away. A wonderful shot there from Zishan Qureshi. That delivery, he was coming early, and Mohammed saw that, decided to pull it down. He dropped it short, and Qureshi was equal to the task, forcing it away through extra cover, down to the boundary for 4.
This is what they need at this point, 2 overs. If he hits a couple more boundaries, I think they will get their score into the area where they will be happy to defend it.
And Qureshi has brought a certain energy with him to the crease. Mohammed to Qureshi using his feet again. He's not afraid to use his feet.
Just a single. Let's see what Hassan does. Maybe one more boundary will help get to the score, to the
A much improved cricketer, Qureshi, with his stint with Ghana Amazon Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And Raza takes charge of this one, using his feet as well. And that is over the long off boundary for 6. A wonderful shot by Hassan Raza. He seems to have been just biding his time, waiting. And, these experienced players, they play so calculated at times. When you think all is lost, all of a sudden they pull things out of the hat that you would not have thought of.
That's right. And he just showed one.
Mohammed again. Raza is down the track, had to wait on that one. Pushes it down to a long off.
I think that was a slow delivery. He was expecting he's going to come full, but I think Muhammad has seen it that he's coming out, so he just dropped the ball a little bit short, and that got him to play single.
42 to Raza. Qureshi's on 10. He swings at this one and is cleaned up. So Qureshi is bowled all over the place. He made 10.
Yeah.
Stumped?
Yeah,
He's
a
stumped, actually.
Stump.
Advancing down the crease and down the wicket, sorry. And he is stumped by Ford, who has had a wonderful game behind the sticks. It's now 119 for 8. But he did his part, coming in at that position of number 9. He would have scored 10 runs very quickly of just 6 deliveries. And it's now 119 for 8 with 1 over to go. I think
that was very crucial 10 runs that really has helped brought the score up to where it is. Otherwise, it probably score would be less than 100 at this particular time. So last over, we're looking at 5 runs average here for 126, but I think there is a chance if Hassan gets onto the strike, there's a chance that it will go over 126.
I think from this position, it's safe to say that they're going to get more than 126 unless Raza gets out and they bowl out. Azaf Shah has come in to join him, and with 6 deliveries to go, Raza would really like to open up here now. They need 130, 135 if they could give Ajmal and Shah something to work with. And bowling the last over is McCarthy. He got 10 runs struck off his first over.
I think he would not be disappointed with 130, but he would not be happy either.
This is swept away wrong. Again, an area which he has gotten most of his runs, and that's 4 runs to Hassan Raza. Takes him on to 46, and the score 123 for 8 with 5 deliveries to go.
Impressive batting by Hassan Raza. Really playing a captain's inning at this point.
Yes, he is. He goes outside the off stump, tries to hit this one away, and it took a leading edge. He's caught and bowled, the score 123 for 9, and that was a crucial wicket at this point in time. More importantly, it was a dot ball, and a dot ball at this stage is very, very crucial.
Very crucial.
1 wicket to come. It's 123 for 9, and I'll tell you something. The strikers may well think they're in this game if they can't get up to around 130, 135.
Smell upset?
Well, who knows? Who knows?
No, I think they have confidence in their bowling. That's why they don't seem to be worrying about it. They had a game like that yesterday against the Afghanistan team, and they pulled it off. But this local team, Florida Striker, is surely putting up a show a little bit here.
Yes, they are.
And they seems to be very relaxed and calm and just doing the business that they go, just cruising along.
Well, a number of youngsters, I think they're just enjoying the opportunity of playing with the senior players out there, the senior pros. And they have so far held their own.
Absolutely.
Johnson is going to take strike now. He has joined Nazaf Shah. Here comes McCarthy. He got the big fish. And Johnson, this time Shaw was in danger of being struck as Johnson put back to ball down to a long on for single.
124 for 9, 3 balls to go. Do you think they can reach 130? Maybe, maybe
Well,
not.
3 balls, I don't see why not. 3 balls, unless they're bowled out. McCarthy to Shaw, and they're bowled out. So it's 124 all out. Najaf Shah with a big, huge heave. He never made contact. And they all out for 124 of 19.4 overs. McCarthy finishing with 2 for 15. Hassan Raza, the top scorer, with 46. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, the strikers will be chasing 125. I think they would have taken that had you given them that at the start of the innings, Shah. Let's start back, eh?
To win from 120 balls. Najaf Shaw has been given the ball, so it appears he will start from the top end of the ground. So O'Dane, McCarthy, and Ken Wright walks out to the middle. It's 125 to win from 120 balls. And Florida Strikers, they're playing U.S. All-Stars in the second quarterfinal match of today's matchup as we welcome back Ivor Henry. So all is set here. 125 is the target from 120 balls. And O'Dane McCarthy on strike. Here's the left-arm seamer. Oh, he bowls him up. He bowls him first ball. And that's the end of McCarthy first ball. And whether or not he got an inside edge, it appears from here. But the fact is a wicket has fallen off the very first ball. Najaf Shah on fire here. So McCarthy goes first ball as number 8 walks out to the middle. And they're under pressure here as Brian Gale. He comes out here. Najaf Shah striking off the very first ball. A perfect start to his bowling spell as Brian Gale comes out to the middle. He joins Ken Wright. And 125 needed from 119 balls. Second of 4 quarterfinals tonight. And certainly today. We saw earlier on Stallions winning quite comfortably from Falcons. U.S. All-Stars and Strikers locked in a battle here. And coming up still is Indian Lions will take on 22 yards. And later on tonight, Miami Sharks will come up against Al Masafi. And that game is slated to start at 8 p.m. So U.S. All-Stars, they've posted 125. In reply, they've gotten a wicket off the very first ball, bowled by Najaf Shah. And Brian Gale, man batting at number 3, would have faced the ball already. Here is Shah. Oh, he guides this one away past the man a second slip, and it goes away for 4. So 4 runs off the bat of Brian Gale. As we welcome back Ivor Henry. And Ivor, this one looks to be quite an interesting game. Just 124 on board, but Najaf Shah with a wicket off the first ball makes the chase quite an interesting one.
Yes, low scores always tend to give a little trouble. Always. But we're in the power play, and no more than 2 fielders can be outside of the 30-yard circle. So let us see if they're going to take advantage of that.
So ball defended here by Brian Gale. He remains on 4. Ken Wright hasn't faced the ball yet.
Yes. Is he a happy camper standing at the non-striker's end? He seems as if he's very well composed. He's a local boy here. He would have captained South Florida cricket team. So the atmosphere and the surroundings is no stranger to Ken Wright.
So Shaw continues to bowl well here. He made a good start, a perfect start as we would say, and there's nothing pleasing to a fast bowler to see when the stumps are rattled. Better yet if it tumbles out of the ground.
Yes, he needed no assistance there in getting his first wicket. Well, early days yet, but like I say, they have to stay in the competition, and if they want to stay in the competition, they've got to keep the strikers under 124.
Well, you've got to say, Ivor, they've done their bowling and fielding job. To restrict a team as U.S. All-Star is to 124, you've done well. Now it's the other half, and that is to get 125. Ken Wright is yet to face a ball. He will when play resumes his 4 for 1.
Yes, the good thing is every run, the countdown is going to be going downwards. So with 4 off, just 120 needed for victory. And I'm just saying just because we would have seen a towering over 200 score here earlier today.
Yes, and Ivor is talking about Stallions. crushing Falcons earlier on. Stallion posting 264, led by 122 by Rizwan Chima and 65 by Hamza Tariq. And in reply, Falcons lost the game by 190 runs. And that's a T20 match we're talking about. And so what a margin of defeat. So Ken Wright will face his first ball. Orlando Johnson has been given the ball. And one of those weird time here, Ivor, we're seeing two left-hand seamer pairing up here. We haven't seen that in the tournament, although we've seen a couple of left-handers in this tournament. Left-hand fast bowler, the likes of Elmore Hutchinson for one.
But Johnson didn't follow in the footstep of Shaw, getting a wicket with his first delivery. But let's see what he do with his second.
So ball goes down the leg side. We'll wait and see, in fact, whether or not the batsman may have gotten a touch somehow. No signal from the umpire, so fair ball, 4 for 1.
Well, I think it went over the stump, really. He was pulling, but he was not in position. He passed in front of him and over the stumps, but not high enough to be called, to be given extras.
So 121 and 112 balls. The battle is on. Big appeal from Johnson. Not outsays the umpire. And the score remains at 4 for the loss of McCarthy.
I thought Kenwright was beaten there for pace. He was coming forward and he got wrapped in the pad. Loud appeal from Johnson, but the umpire is unmoved, not interested. So Johnson has got to go back to his mark, looking dejected, but he's got to get those shoulders up and bowled another.
So Ken Wright, certainly a top competitor. He's made a lot of runs in the southeast region of this country. And still a force to be reckoned with. I've seen him bat a couple of times, Ivor, and I've seen him play some big knocks along the way.
Yes, indeed. I've witnessed that quite a few times myself.
So ball turned into the onside. We'll wait and see whether it came off the bat. In fact, leg by is the call, so not yet off the mark is Ken Wright, but the score goes up by 1. The score is 5 for 1. We're in the second over being bowled here by Johnson.
Yes, Johnson is pitching that ball up and doing the right thing, and I think Ken Wright, as you would say, his eyes are not in as yet. He looks a little, should I say, relaxed or unconcerned at this time, but looks could be deceiving.
Well, the bowling has been good. That's a good-looking shot here from Brian Gale. It's going to go out of the playing area. It does so now. And that's a good-looking shot here from Brian Gale. He goes up to 10. It's 11 for 1.
And it seems as if Gale stood there and beckoned to Mr. Wright, come here. You see what I just did? That's the way to do it.
Yeah, lovely shot from Brian Gale. Got to the pitch of the ball and just went through with a stroke. Deliberately lifting it over long on. A lovely shot for 6. He goes up to 10. It's 11 for 1.
Yes, so the first maximum of this inning. It's going to be an interesting battle here between the battle of the locals.
So Johnson finished up his first over, and over the cost 7 runs, it's 11 for 1.
Yes, that was an effort delivery there from him, and he came back and put a dot in the scorer's book. He was a little bit disappointed in not getting the verdict going his way when he made a loud appeal, and after that we'd have seen what Mr. Gale would have done and said, you have to come and bowl to another batsman, not me, because I'm going to put this willow on the leather. That he did very effectively. Maximum first of the inning.
Yes, Ivor, the first one, it came off the bat of Brian Gale. You're right on that. So Najaf Shaw will continue. His first over cost him 4. And a perfect start to his bowling spell in which he rattled the sticks behind McCarthy. And now Ken Wright will face Najaf Shaw, another left-arm seamer.
Yes, this time he was not lucky to get a wicket in his first delivery of the second over, but his tails are up, and he's going to fight hard for his team. Winner stays, loser walk.
So it's 114 to get from 107 balls. We are in the third over, bowled by Najaf Shaw. He's bowled well in this series.
And that's a naughty shot outside the off stump. I mean, there's a slipper waiting, and third man for the edge. That may have very well carried because he went really hard at that one. I know it's the power play, but you would have lost the wicket from the first delivery. Your duty is to stay there and work the bad ones away, and the good ones you just try to score your singles.
So a bit of word here from Hassan Raza, the captain, just conveying some bit of instructions here to Najaf Shaw. We'll see what the plan appears to be here as he runs in now, 11 for 1. Ken Wright is yet to get off the mark.
That's a seamer on about off stump going away. The batsman would have none of it. Just looked at it, trying to get his eye in. It's not a huge task, 124 for victory. And it's early days yet, and I can say both teams are looking to stay in this competition.
So Indian Lions will take on 22 yards at 4 p.m. And Miami Sharks will come up against Al Masafi at 8 p.m. So lots of cricket left for today's play.
The stand corrected is 125 for victory. And gets done. Lenny here was not listening to me and pull out the whip and put it across my back. But it's 125 for victory, 124 for the tie.
So 114 to win from 104 balls. Najaf Shah has bowled very good. He's now bowled 10 balls. He's only conceded 4 runs. And he's gotten the wicket to have fallen so far. So 11 for 1. So Wright still not yet off the mark.
I don't think he's really perturbed by not getting off the mark. He's an old campaigner. He's an experienced cricketer in these parts. So I think the objective is to stay there. He's facing the wicket taker in Shaw. So he's given him the respect that is due.
So a dot ball here will give Najaf Shah a maiden. We haven't seen one for today. We saw one yesterday. And he plays it up to backward point. Could it find a gap? Fielder is coming around. It appears to be Ajmal. Makes a very good save. Save the boundary. They'll come back for 2. So Ken Wright gets off the mark with a couple. Good stop there from Saeed Ajmal, the former Pakistani international. And 3 gone here. Ivor is 13 for 1.
Yes, lucky 13. We're there, and like we said, Ken Wright, he's not bothered by being pinned down. He's not one to just say, well, I've been pinned down for 5 deliveries. Let me just go and have a waff. He played a proper cricket shot outside the off stump, guided it. He did not have the legs to get across the boundary, but we have to applaud the feeling there by the once record holder in terms of being #1 bowler in the world, Ajmal.
Yes, Ivor Henry, Saeed Ajmal has served Pakistani cricket quite well. And at one point in 2012, he was the quickest to have gotten 100 test wicket by a Pakistani player. So Johnson continues, starts with a dot ball. Brian Gale back on a cross and plays it up towards the offside. And there is no run.
Yeah, there's a battle going on between these two. Gale would have struck Johnson for an almighty 6, but now Johnson is saying, you're going to stay there and I'm going to keep you on the back foot. The battle is intense. They know each other. They are buddies.
So it's 124 posted on the board here by All-Stars. They certainly didn't get going today, but runs on the board are runs on the board, as they say, and now it's Florida Strikers to get those 111 runs from 100 balls.
Yes, well, Johnson is quite pacey. He's having Gale getting on his toes to keep them down from the whip cage. That he did effectively. Got to run around the corner.
So 14 for 1. Ken Wright on 2. Gets a good ball from the left-hand seamer. Can't do much with it. In fact, it is a dot ball. And so the score remains at 14 for 1. 111 to win from 99 balls. 6.73 is the asking rate. And at the moment, they're going at exactly 4 runs and over.
Yes, like I said, Johnson, he doesn't give away much, I can tell you that, overall. Last evening, we saw him coming in for a bit of a stick, but today is a different day. It's Saturday.
So 111 remaining. A big shot attempted here by Wright outside the off stump. Good bongs here from Johnson. It goes through to Jasker and Malhotra. And the score remains at 14 for 1. And Ivor, you made good mention that sometimes a score of 124, 125 becomes a very tricky total. And sometimes batsmen, they're a little bit tentative and they're not too sure, well, this is not a huge run chase. And they get into trouble by being ultra cautious sometimes. And I've seen many, many small totals become tricky totals.
And, well, I've seen the spinners. I can tell you, with the likes of Ajmal and Siddiqui, I can tell you they're not going to want to wait it for too late, I can tell you. So they've got to get some of these dots and turn them into poles.
So 14 for 1. We've seen a good over so far from Johnson. Only a single in the over, followed up by 4 dots. So he's bowled well. Najaf Shaw has also given them a good start. 2 overs, no maiden, 1 for 6. And Johnson so far, he's bowled 11 balls and he's only conceded 11 runs. No wicket yet. And Ken Wright, he gets an edge towards the man at short third man. They'll come back for, well, in fact, they'll stay for 1.
No, that's sloppy runnings. Just believe me. And the ball eluded the fielder in the fly slip, and he went almost down to the boundary, and they just ambled through for a single, as if to say, well, I'm going to take the strike from the next over. I'd rather be here as opposed to get a little closer to 125 with that extra run.
So it appears to be a bowling change here. Could be Junaid Siddiq, the bowler that bowls like Shahid Afridi.
Yes.
So Junaid given the ball here. Spin comes in quite early in the 5th over. The bowler who we've tied on to having an action very, very similar to Shahid Afridi.
Yes, but like I said, the good balls, you still got to work them for singles as opposed to just playing with a dead bat back along the track or to the fielders. But you still have to give the fielding team all of the accolades. They're keeping it tight. They're trying to defend the 124 they would have made, and it calls for good cricket. Keeping us honest right here in the box.
So 110 needed from 96 balls. Junaid Siddiqui has been given the ball. He comes in here at 15 for 1. Ken Wright is on 3. Brian Gale on 11. He's been out of strike for some time. So Orlando Johnson, 2 overs, no maiden, none for 8. A big appeal here to start from Junaid. Not out, says the umpire.
Right, umpire is not interested. Ken Wright, as cool as cucumber, just walks around the stumps as if to say, what are you appealing for? But wickets, once you get wickets in the corner of the Florida Strikes, you know their back's going to be against the wall. This time he comes outside and he's given. He's gone LBW, and Ken Wright stays there as if to say, my front pad is outside the off stump, but the umpire would have said, well, probably got struck in front of the wicket before that pad would have ended up outside the off stump. But Ken Wright just didn't seem to be himself, if I can say so myself. He just seemed to be not here. That's not his style of batting. So he's walking back, a dejected man, and he's been number 14.
So it appears to be Keneal Irvin.
Yeah, replacing Ken Wright, who is walking back very dejected. He just scored some 3 runs. He's been there at the top of the inning, but like we said, he's beckoning to say he played the ball. He came from bat, but sometimes he come from pad to bat. So we're not saying that he did not hit the bat, but probably the umpire is saying he was pad, then bat.
So they're batting at 15 for 2. They still need 110 from 94 balls. Keneal Irvin comes out to the middle. He joins Brian Gale. Gale is on 11. And Junaid Siddiqui, he gets his first wicket. He hasn't conceded a run. In fact, that's his second ball.
Yes, the first one was a loud appeal, and he was turned down by the umpire. But Ken Wright was not second time lucky. It got to go.
So Keneal Irvin comes in here at 15 for 2. Here is Junaid. Can't score, so he will have to wait a while longer to get off the mark if he does. In the meantime, 110 needed from 93 balls. This is the second quarterfinal we have seen, or we are seeing. We saw Stallions, the number 1 team, and this one getting an inside edge, and it will go away for 4 in front of Zishan Qureshi. And 4 runs off the bat of Irvin. Certainly not a convincing shot, but a very effective one.
Well, he got the desired result, one he was hoping for, because there's no cover sweeper. He was trying to get it past the cover and the extra cover man, but he got some willow in it, and he went past the leg stump, and we can call it a Maurice Foster of the French cut.
So 19 for 2. Irvin is on 4. Brian Gale is on 11, and so they need 106 from 92 balls. And a big swing and a miss here by Irvin. He remains on 4.
Yeah, he would have been this. The reverse shot could have come into play, but then he should have gone inside out for that. I think that would have been the better shot to be played. But he missed, and dot balls are like gold dust at this time.
So similar ball, similar shot, similar outcome. That completes over number 5. Siddiqui has bowled a quality first over, an over in which he gave away 4, but he got the wicket of Ken Wright.
Yes.
It's 19 for 2 at the end of 5.
And the 4 came via a way of just something coming off the inside edge of the bats, going past the leg stump. So streaky 4. But nonetheless, the Florida Strikes, they will take that any day, anytime, and twice on Saturdays. Well, we're here in lovely sunshine at the Central Broward Regional Park in the beautiful city of Lauderhill in the county of Broward in the state of Florida. In these great United States, Florida it is. Come on down.
So 19 for 2. Brian Gale will be on strike. He has been out of strike for some time, so he gets a chance now. And Johnson, 2 overs, no made, none for 8. Ball on target here, and a good bit of running here from Gale and Irvin. They go through, they scamper through for 1. Every run count. And it's 105 needed from 89 balls. And Ivor, just for our viewers, just to give you some idea of what's happening here, U.S. All-Stars, they're playing the second quarterfinal game for today. All quarterfinals will be finished today. Tomorrow will be semifinal and the grand final. And U.S. All-Stars, they're taking on Florida Strikers. They have posted 124. And in reply, they're 20 for 2 Florida Strikers. As we see Keneal Irvin picks up another run. Up the short backward square. He goes up to 5. Brian Gale, he comes back into strike. He has made a dozen so far. It's 21 for 2.
Yes, motoring along. We've come to man's age, 21 for 2. It's not a tall ask by any means, but I always say the small scores give the most trouble.
So earlier on, we saw Stallions, Houston Stallions, destroying Falcons by 190 runs in their engagement. Rizwan Chima, the first 100 of the series, 122, a big one, and 65 from Hamza Tariq made sure that Falcons had to go home earlier in the day. Later on tonight, Indian Lions will take on 22 yards. 22 yards, if you've been watching the broadcast, you saw them last night come from behind to got the better of Atlanta Paramveers at a time in which they were struggling at 7 for 4. And then, of course, later on tonight, Later on tonight, Miami Sharks will be swimming on dry land here as they take on Al Masafi out of Afghanistan, and that match is slated to start at 8. So lots of cricket left for today. Ivor Henry, I hope you don't fall asleep like last night, just 21 for 2.
I was looking for a rollaway cot, but they didn't supply me with any, so I had to take one of these chairs and make it my bed. At least it was not, Bob Marley said, cold ground was my bed last night. But
So a couple of runs in the over from Orlando Johnson. He continues to bowl quite economical here, and I'll tell you his bowling spell after this ball. Oh, this one is cut away deliberately here. And it goes away for 4 off the bat of Brian Gale. He goes up to 16, and it's 25 for 2.
yes, sweet 16 it is, and that was deliberately done. There's no slip. There's no fine third man. He just had to get the willow on it, and he got exactly what the doctor ordered. They've been pinned down, especially from Siddiqui at the other end. So Johnson is in his 3rd over. He's gone for some 14 runs so far. He's bowled tidily. He thought he should have got his man, Ken Wright, early in his spell.
Yes, both Johnson and Najaf Shah has gotten U.S. All-Star to a good bowling start. And as in the case of Najaf Shah, he bowled brilliantly. In fact, his first ball sent Makati packing. And already, you know your cricket too well, Ivor. Anytime a wicket falls off the first ball, the bowling has some bit of advantage. And we see the man coming in at number 3. We saw the man coming in at number 3, Brian Gale, still out there, but with a wicket falling off the very first ball, the batsman would certainly be under a bit of pressure. 25 for 2, 6 gone.
Yes, well, Irvin is keeping company. He is on 5, and we have done away with the power play, so I think that the screws are going to be tightening here somewhat, but we will watch and wait.
So when we look at the ranked teams coming into the quarterfinal, here is how they go. Stallions, they were ranked number 1 coming into the quarterfinal knockout stage. So number 1 played number 8, and number 8 was Falcons. Number 2 is U.S. All-Stars. They're taking on number 7, Florida Strikers. Later on, Indian Lions, the ranked number 3 team, will take on number 6, 22 yards. And Miami Sharks, ranked number 4, will take on Al Masafi, ranked number 5.
Yes, well, there seemed to be a bowling change from the far end. We'll get that from our official scores in a minute. Young Qureshi, the son of Mac Qureshi, has been brought on early in the attack, 25 for 2. The one chase requires 125 for the Florida Strikes.
So
Gale is on 16. Irvin is on 5. Partnership is going double figures, 10.
So Zishan Qureshi, the left-arm leg spinner, will come into bowl to Kenil Irvin. He's on 5. It's 25 for 2, 100 needed from 84 balls. Brian Gale at the non-striker end. He's on 16. And a good start here from Zishan Qureshi brings Irvin forward. He remains on 5. He starts with a dot. It's 25 for 2, Ivor.
Yes, indeed. Good start there by young Zishan Qureshi. And he's got to follow in the footsteps of his prior bowlers to keep it tight. Keep it tight. Keep the lid on it.
So asking rate over 7 and over. Oh, that's a big shot here from Irvin, and he clears long on. And it goes for a U.S. Open maximum. 6 runs off the bat of Kenil Irvin. He goes up to 11. It's 31 for 2.
Yes, they've got to target bowler because we have the likes of Ajmal still to come, and we know that he's not going to give away many. But that was a good-looking shot. He tugged it from off and went way over the head of the man at long on.
So a good comeback here from Zishan Qureshi. It's 31 for 2, 94 needed from 81 balls. We already have one semi-finalist. And not too long from now, second one will be decided. Oh, bowled him. So
naughty. I thought that the ball before that, that's the one he should have played. It was into the onside, and he just tried to flick it away. Now this one was deadly straight on center stump. He played right across it rather than playing straight down the line. Gifted his wicket away, but we just have to give the bowler some credit. He'd been struck for an almighty six, and he held his nerve, came back with 2 dot balls, and as you say, what better dot ball to have than when you get a wicket? Well done, Mr. Qureshi.
Yes, Ivor. Zishan Qureshi gets 1 for 6. It's 31 for 3. New batsman seems to be Krishna Graham as he walks out to the middle where there's still a lot of batting work to be done. 94 to win from 80 ball. So 31 for 3 as we see Krishna Graham comes out to the middle to join Brian Gale. Gale is on 16. And so 94 to win from 80 balls. So Zishan Qureshi, 1 for 6 so far. And Ivor with 94 to win from 80 balls. You've got to say there's lots of cricket left in certainly this game as Zishan Qureshi will continue. A couple of balls to finish up his first over.
So Qureshi with a wicket on his belt, he's keeping the... Oh, he made a bad miss there. That's his own fault. He tried to prevent a single. Maybe he was unsighted there by the batter. And I can say he would have bowled a tidy over, one which he would have gone into the wicket column. His first over went for 7, and just imagine that a 6 was hitting that over. So he would have bowled some 4 dot balls.
Yes, Ivor, any over that has a wicket inside has to be considered good bowling. So 32 for 3, 7 gone. Still 93 to win from 78 ball, 93 to win from 78. So it appears Junaid comes to the bottom end of the ground from the pavilion end for his second spell. His first over cost him 4. He got 1 wicket. And so Ivor Junaid comes back into the attack here. Second spell, he switches end. And we'll come into bowl to Krishna Graham. Graham is on 1. It's 32 for 3.
Well, I think Qureshi would have earned the second over. He may have just been used to switch around, but I think he's going to say, I want more than just to be a switch bowler. Batsman stroking this one nicely into the sweeper cover area. The scampers through for a single. Takes this total on to 33. All threes on the board. 3, 3, 3 for free. Chasing 125 for victory, Florida Strikes. They're making heavy weather of it at this time, but much, much credit to the opposing opponents.
So, Ivor, when you look at the top wicket takers of this tournament, we have spoken a lot about the batting exploits of certainly the big batters of this tournament. But let's go over to the top 5 wicket takers so far, and we've got Cameron Sheikh out of Falcons with 9 wickets. Shakil Forbes coming into this game with 8 wickets. He's second. Then we have Smith, Jamie Smith, Nakaya Jamie Smith. He's playing in this game. He also has 8 wickets. Jay Patak with 8 wickets. And Gary Maturin, we saw him last night with the Paramveers. He has 7 wickets. So those are the top 5 wicket takers in this series so far.
And that's good running between these two, good understanding. They didn't have to call. They looked up at each other, saw they found the man in the extra cover flat-footed, and they took advantage of that. They're going to need a lot more of those. Sometimes you get the ball off the middle. You've got to make the impossibles into one, the ones into twos, twos into threes, and the boundaries come along the way.
So 91 to win from 74 balls. And Siddiq on target here. That's a good ball. Ball defended here by Graham. He remains on 2. Brian Gale is on 17.
So we welcome all viewers to ESPN Free. Good afternoon, wherever you are. And if you're somewhere in the Far East, we're saying good night, good morning.
Yes, and if you're viewing from Afghanistan, your team will play later on. Right now, we've got U.S. All-Stars and Florida Strikers, two Florida-based team, I would say. Ivor is 34 for 3.
Yes, and a good, nice, tidy over there from Siddiqui. He was switched around, came from the southern end, and followed in the mode of Zishan Qureshi, keeping it nice and tidy. But let us see, Qureshi would have earned himself a second over. Yesterday he came in for a bit of a batter, but they were under no pressure because the first 5 teams that played here, they were well on the way to the quarterfinals. But here's where it counts. We are at the knockout stage. Loser go home. Winner stays.
So 91 to win from 72 balls is 34 for 3. And ball worked into the onside. Single. Matt Armstrong comes in quite quickly. And Gale goes up to 18. Krishna Graham comes back into strike. He's made 2 from 5 balls. Zishan Qureshi bowling at 1.1 overs. No maiden 1 for 8. So ball pulled through the onside. Well placed here from Krishna Graham. And it goes away for a boundary. So a good looking shot here from Graham. He goes up to 6. It's 39 for 3.
Yeah, bad delivery. It was short. It was asking to be hit. It sat up. I think even my mum would have got this one beyond the boundary ropes.
So the score goes up to 39 for 3. 8 to 6 to win from 70 balls.
And my mum is 90 years old.
So
and again, and this one is even better. It has gone for the maximum, and it's a U.S. Open.
Maximum. So a good looking shot here from Krishna Graham. Short ball from Zishan Qureshi. And it's 11 runs in the over so far. 45 for 3. 8 runs to win from 69 balls.
Yes, so we want to say good morning to those folks over in Abu Dhabi. It is 12:15 their time, and I know it's already Sunday for you. And if you're going to be worshiping a little later, well, I hope that you will get some sleep. But if you're with us, we are saying good morning to you. It's just after 12 o'clock there.
Yes, Ivor, this event certainly a very global one in terms of the viewership. We understand, certainly around the world, in Afghanistan, in Dubai, and along the North American coast. Canadians and people certainly from the U.S. A big appeal here. Let us say is umpire.
Yes, he got in, and from our vantage point, but the umpire is always in the better position to see what's happening. He got in, he landed on his belly. He forgot to put his wheels down, but at least he came in on his belly.
So that's umpire Samuels out of Jamaica.
Yes, a busy man. Umpire Samuels is part of us here when he's not adjudicating down in the middle.
Oh yes, he is a very helpful man around the commentary setup here, and I've got to say we have had a lot of helping hand around the commentary setup here. We have a box full of scorers, and that is why yesterday when a team came in and told 3 scorers that we missed a 4, we were kind of very surprised with the acquisition.
Yes, and talking about assistance, we just have to give a whole ton of credit to Mr. Paul Mott, working behind the scenes, keeping the scoreboard ticking. He does all the technical stuff that goes on around here. So for the folks who are wondering how the scoreboard looks so nice and pretty, Paul Mott is the man. In the meantime,
Yes, we have had a very solid scoring commentary and computer guys that certainly has a scoreboard working every ball by ball. This is a big shot here from Brian Gale. It will go all the way. In fact, it does. And that's another big six here off the bat of Brian Gale. He goes up to 24, and that brings up the 50 is 53 for 3.
well, that one is out of here. It's at one point I thought it was a plane. Then I said it must be a bird. Then I say, is it a kite way over there? Then I looked, I say it landed, and it was a cricket ball.
So Brian Gale goes up to 24. Krishna Graham is on 3. We've seen a good partnership here of 22 between the pair out in the middle. And Qureshi with 19 runs in the over so far. 53 for 3. 72 to win from 67 balls.
So do you think that Irwin would have set up Qureshi to get another over by sacrificing his wicket?
You never know. The ball played up towards the offside. Running quickly. They could come back with 2 here. Fielder gets onto the ball now. Najab Shaw. And he realizes that two was always on.
Yeah, it's a relaxing 2. And we see these guys, they're motoring along. 55, they're getting closer and closer. And this partnership is growing, and it's already gone to 24. So the batting has seemed to have settled down some. And we're going to see Ajmal. He's going to be taking up the attack. But they did target young Qureshi. He had a wicket under his belt, and now he has gone for some 28 runs from his 2 overs. He had a good steady over when he would have bowled Irvin neck and crop in his first over. That caused him to get the second over. The wages are going up. Will he get a third? We'll watch and wait.
So 70 to win from 66 ball. Second quarterfinal in the box.
And we're going to be summoning Dylan. He's going to be coming in off his long one. He had to do a couple of things yesterday. So Merv Dillon, former West Indies thing. So I'm going to make way for the big man. I just have to do that.
So Saeed Ajmal comes in here as we're joined by Mervyn Dillon, former West Indies Test and one international player, and a member of the Indian Lions setup as they take on 22 yards a little bit later on. So Ajmal with 70 runs to win from 66 ball. He comes in here, and ball defended here by Graham. So welcome Merv.
Thank you, sir.
Indian Lions have a very important game with 22 yards.
Yeah, we have it's a knockout, so every game is important. So we look forward to it. The guys are quite eager, and it should be a good game.
So Ajmal, as ball turned into the onside, you heard the news that Rizwan Chima got 100 earlier in the day. The first one of the series, a big one, 122. And in fact, a couple of records might have been smashed during the course of that match. Along with Tariq, they put on 185 for the first wicket.
Well, young Chima is a tremendous talent. Hopefully he goes on to greater things.
So 68 to win from 64 ball. This game is looking for a very close finish. With U.S. All-Stars, they were able to post 124. Not by all means a big T20 score. But like anything else, Merv, 125 can be some...
Those are the tricky totals.
Tricky totals.
You're not sure when to go and how long to go for. So it's always tricky. I've seen a lot of these games, go down to the wire when you think, it's an easy total. They always turn out to be quite tricky.
So, Saeed Ajmal, would you have played against Ajmal during your international career?
No, I mean, obviously I know about him, but I didn't play against him. But an exceptional talent, definitely. I mean, his stats will show that.
So I was, first of all, looking up the stats of yours and certainly Ajmal. Oh, a cotton ball, a simple cotton ball, and Krishna Graham goes off the bowling of Ajmal. He gets one. It's 57 for 4 here, Merv. Easy cotton ball.
Definitely. I think he was beaten. He didn't pick that one there. So that's the quality of the man. Well bowled to Ajmal.
So coming back to your career and certainly Ajmal's career, The figures in terms of international representation is very similar. Now, how many tests did you play?
Played 38.
Oh, 38. Well, he played 33. And I'll tell you, how many one international you played?
Some just above 100.
109,
I know you're a statsman, so I know how you have all.
108, 109. Well, he has played 114. So you guys are very, very close. One would have represented the Pakistan international team, and one would have represented the West Indies team. So always, and personally, I have great respect to players who have played at the highest level, and more of you certainly served West Indies cricket well, and it's always a pleasure to have you in the box at 57 for 4 here, 68 to win from 60 balls.
Not somewhere I thought I would end up, but you guys have made it quite fun, so maybe I return at some point.
So it appears Masood Mohammed has come to the middle here. And more of Masood Mohammed, you would have seen him in the Southeast region from time to time, one of the leg spinner, but not so much of his leg spinning ability. While he's a very good bowler, but his fielding is electric.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent around. I just, you know, like I said, I keep hoping that the structure will be put in place for these guys to, you know, have something to look forward to in terms of, you know, step by step to get to the highest level. And I think that is, you know, the talent is there, but they definitely need that structure. Once that is in place, hopefully very soon, I think you'll see a lot more talent come into the fray because now they have something to work towards.
So Dilhara has been given the ball. He comes in here at 57 for 4. And more of it, 57 for 4, 68 to win from 60 balls. First of all, we'll look from the perspective of the bowling team. So you're defending 68 from 60 balls. As a captain or as a bowler, what would you want to do here?
If you're defending, obviously you probably want to get a couple of wickets. You know, it's I mean in any one-day setting that you will back the batting team in that scenario. It's all just over a run a ball. Having said that, we have Ajmal and a couple others in the attack, so the batting side definitely will have to just bat normal. They don't have to do anything crazy, and that's where the problem will come in if they panic.
So 67 to win from 59. Masood Mohammed will face his first ball. It's 58 for 4. And if you are batting here, you're needing 67 from 59. How do you approach the batting from here on?
Well, as I said, it should be simple batting, you know, but cricket is a funny game, as we all know. So if my money would be on the batting team in terms of that, I'm not sure what quality they have on the bench that are waiting to come in, but just over a run a ball, the batting side should be very confident.
Certainly, Merv, one has to say, I remember before T20 became as popular as it is now, a big swing and a miss here from Masood, and speaking of batting, maybe an ill-advised shot at this stage of the game?
Yeah, it's not needed at this point. It was a bit of a half volley, but he never got close to it, so I just want to get a little closer to the ball.
So coming back before T20 really became worldwide popular as it is today, and in around the 2006, 2008 year, a run a ball looked to be quite difficult before then, but these days, because so much T20 cricket is playing, you tell a team to run a ball and now it's like a walk in the park?
Well, I mean, back then when I was a fan, I saw a lot of teams, you know, chase 200, 220 against the old West Indies team, and that was almost an Herculean task. So definitely different times. The game has changed so much with the evolution of T20 cricket. So.
Certainly, yes, Merv. And the fact is, I remember in the early days of international T20, there were a lot of games you'll win or compete with 120 and 30 on the board. 120, 130 was still good defendable total. But what we have seen in the last couple of years with the IPL and the Big Bash, and certainly with the every 2-year World T20 or stuff, we're beginning to see that you can lose a T20 match with 150 on the board.
Yeah, 150 is a below par score these days. Yeah, a lot of work for bowlers. The batsmen seem to be having all the fun.
And speaking of that, Merv, do you think that the rules and the laws and the playing conditions these days of limited overs and T20 matches has gone in favor of the batsman and biased towards the bowler?
Definitely. When you look at the wickets and the surfaces that we play on, I just think, I mean, I am not against batters scoring runs. I just think if you deserve it in terms of, being able to play on wickets that, the bowlers have something if they put the effort in, I think that it makes better for better players in general, So that for me is a bit of a disappointment. I think when you look at the setup, everybody seems to want to see runs being scored. But like I say, when I played and before I played, fast bowlers were just as entertaining, as the batters. So that is something maybe that they should look at. West Indies cricket, I mean, when you look at the history of it, it's all built on our fast bowling that saved us so many times.
So we've seen a couple of big shots here from Brian Gale, a 6 and a 4. He goes up to 38 and takes the score up to 69 for 4, 56 to win from 54 balls. We've seen some punishing shot from Brian Gale. He goes up to 38. And not a very good over here from Dilhara. He has conceded 12 in the over so far. So Merv with 56 to win from 54. It looks like the batting team on cruise control here, 69 for 4.
Yeah, they just have to keep their cool heads and not panic, like I said. Once they do that, they should win this game pretty easily. There is Ajmal again. He's going to be taking up the attack. So this is the man they probably need to watch the most. He picked up a wicket in his last over, and they probably want to deny him any more wickets because that's where they can lose the game.
So more of many times we were told as young cricketers when we were growing up and later on, one of the mantra that you should always live by or certainly play by is that irrespective of a player like Ajmal or yourself, not to fear the name.
Well, that's good advice. Yeah, play the ball, not the name.
So we agree on that one. So Ajmal comes in here. He has bowled 7 balls. He has only conceded a couple of runs. And he has taken 1 wicket. And just to jump over here, if cricket has become a batsman games, we've seen T20 as you mentioned, smaller grounds, thicker bats, rule against bowling. As soon as you go down the leg side, a fraction of an inch is called a wide, but you can bowl a ball outside the off stump a yard away, and they're not going to call you wide.
Well, that's the rules, and I don't make the rules, unfortunately, so we have to abide by them. But as I said, it's for me, as I see it, it's all about the batters. I think we see it as only batsmen are the ones to entertain. But I certainly believe, especially for the young fast bowlers of the West Indies, when I played and before I played, you had wickets in Barbados and Jamaica that will, you kind of look forward to in a 5-test series. You had to work hard in Antigua. But you don't see that anymore, and I feel for the young fast bowlers because there is very little assistance for them to develop their game. And more often than not, when you look at our 4-day tournament, it's just the fast bowlers basically getting the shine off the ball, and we into the spinners who bowl probably 75-80% of the overs in any given 4-day game.
Yes, Merv, and someone was asking where have all the West Indian fast bowlers gone? And because of the batting-friendly pitches we have in the Caribbean, someone says, well, they're all turned into batsmen.
Well, I don't think anybody is quite eager to bowl on these pitches and bowl fast on these wickets. It definitely takes away from that, and I think it's something that needs to be encouraged. As I said, fast bowling has been a big part of West Indies cricket, and it's something that I remember seeing the fans cheer when Ambrose would whistle one past Mike Atherton's chest or his nose. So that is something I hope that we kind of bring back into our cricket to see that kind of, and then it will help our guys when they go to places like Australia and South Africa and a ball bounce or swing. They're not totally surprised by this. So it definitely will help our cricket, and I don't think they see that way. We look at the fact that they would score runs on these flat wickets, but as soon as they go on wickets that have a little assistance for the bowlers, they're totally at sea, and that can't be good for us.
So more of a personal question here: which is the best wicket you enjoyed bowling on, and in terms of bounce and speed that would have certainly enhanced your fast bowling spell?
I didn't play much in New Zealand, but the wickets in New Zealand were very helpful. They were probably a little in favor of the bowlers. There were always some green tops in New Zealand. Of course, there's Australia, there's South Africa, where you do get some assistance. You put in the effort and you get the results. So I enjoyed the years that I played in Barbados, definitely, and Jamaica. Like I said, those wickets gave you some assistance, and batters weren't allowed to step in your face too often.
Have you bowled on Perth?
Yes, I bowled at the Waka, yes, definitely.
So 75 for 4, Dilhara will continue. 50 runs needed from 48 balls. And now coming back to the strip here at Broward, that Central Broward Regional Park. You've played here quite a few times. You've been to the U.S. Open several times. And what has been the improvement of the track out in the middle?
It definitely looks a lot better for batting. That's a good thing. The past few years, it normally is a bit low and not too friendly for the batters. But this allows for stroke play, and which is what I'm sure a lot of people want to see. So we've seen some really good shots, and talking about Chima and his 100 today. So well played to him.
Yes, of course, with the BCCI in town not too long ago, I think some upgrade was certainly done to the pitch here. It's certainly looked better in the last couple of years, and of course, with everyone eyeing the U.S. market, and the venue is right here, I'm pretty sure that more work will be done to get the pitch up to international standard. It is up to international standard, but certainly they want to get a strip that would certainly encourage stroke playing and to give the bowler some bit of fair chance. As we see Dilhara, the man with ball in hand, 76 for 4. Masood Mohammed is on 2. Brian Gale is on 44 not out. And 49 to win from 47 ball. We're having a chat here in the box with former West Indies player. This one is swung around to the mid-wicket area. Only a single here to Masood Mohammed. And he goes up to 3, is 77 for 4. We are talking to one international player, Marv Dillon. And Marv, you're part of the Indian Lions setup. You guys have certainly been to the U.S. Open many, many times. Is Punjab Lions different from Indian Lions?
Yes, it is different from Lion. Indian Lions is the better lion.
So the reason I ask, I know Orlando Baker-led team won the Dallas Premier League a couple of weeks ago. So and Orlando is part of your team. So
he's with the right lion right now.
All right, so good. Always a lion will be a lion. So Indian Lions will take on 22 yards, and I think you guys certainly would have had your strategy planned out for 22 yards. 22 yards includes the likes of Sean Finley, Rusty Tehran. We see Farhat got among the runs last night, and so 22 yards seems to be a good team.
Definitely some talent in there. And like I said, T20 cricket, it's on the day. We have a team on paper, but unless we go out there and play to our true potential or close to that, we probably will come up short. So that's one of the things we discussed in the meeting. Make sure that guys put in the effort when they get out there and not leave it for anyone else. You be the champion. So I look forward to the game. Unfortunately, I still have a bit of a sore back, so hopefully I get a game tomorrow. I'll have to transfer some more money to Ricardo's account.
Yes, the Indian Lions team very strong on paper, and they've played well enough to get into the quarterfinal. They were placed in a zone that the franchise zone, as they call it, that all the teams playing in that zone has gone through to the quarterfinals. But now comes the knockout stage. They come up against 22 yards, a top team. They had their first game in the stadium yesterday. In fact, last night, and they came from behind to get the better of Atlanta Paramveers that included the likes of Gary Maturin, Keddy Lespores and company, and they came from behind to win a very good T20 game. In fact, 15-15 game last night, 78 for 4, and so 47 to win from 42 balls. Masood Mohammed is on 3, Brian Gale is on 45, and 47 to win from 42 balls. So it appears to be cruise control here for the batting team, but you never know. A couple of wickets here can make it quite interesting.
Definitely. And that's the thing, young Gale, who is set, he will probably want to bat through and not leave it, because when a new batsman get in, obviously we know the difficulty of getting set and on such a wicket with very little time. So it's important that the set batter goes, try and bat as deep as possible.
So Ajmal will continue. He's bowled 2 overs, no maiden, 1 for 8. But more importantly, the bowling team will need to probably get a wicket or 2 here and induce some pressure onto the lower order.
I'm sure that's their plan. Definitely looking to get a couple of wickets to put some pressure on the batting team.
So leg by. It all adds to the score is 79 for 4, so 46 to win from 41 balls. So one of two quarterfinal here on tap. The next one coming up, Indian Lions takes on 22 yards at 4 p.m. And later on tonight, Miami Sharks will play Al Masafi from Afghanistan, and that match is a final one for tonight. It starts at 8. So Mohammed trying to go big and hard down the ground, doesn't time it at all well, Marv. It's 79 for 4.
Yeah, that looked pretty agricultural there.
So still maybe run a ball. We could see them very close home, and like anything else, as they say, one or two big overs. Oh, he comes on the track, deceived by a ball from Saeed Ajmal. The wicketkeeper does the rest. An ill-advised shot from Masood Mohammed. Very careless. 79 for 5, Marv.
I think he got a call. I hope it's not from Dave Mohammed. Well bowled to Ajmal, though. But terrible shot. If you're not picking, I don't think you would want to be leaving your crease. Whatever you do, you would want to do it at the crease. So poor decision by the young man. And just putting a little more pressure on his team, which is what they probably didn't need at this time. And especially with Ajmal. And I think that's the key, like I pointed out. I'm not sure of the rest of the bowlers, but he's key at this time. And you really didn't want to give him another wicket, because this is the energy that the fielding team would need to put some more pressure on the batting team.
So Masood Mohammed comes back. He has scored 3. And Saeed Ajmal picks up his second wicket. He's now bowling at 2 for 8. V. Kumar comes out to the middle. And still 46 to win from 39 balls. What's seeming?
Are we seeing a tip in the scale here?
You never know. We saw a taste of that last night. With one team 4 wickets down for 7 runs on the board. Did well to get up to 140 plus. And that, in fact, put pressure on the Atlanta Paramveers. So Kumar comes out here at 79 for 5, still 46 from 39. And ball played up towards the offside. Current score is Kumar. And the score remains at 79 for 5. So Ajmal, the former Pakistani Test and one-day bowler. And so he's followed up with a wicket with a couple of dot balls here. So Ajmal trying to apply some pressure here, Marv.
Yes, using his experience and his abilities, definitely adding a bit of pressure here. So,
how different it is for a batsman, Marv, to come to the park and not knowing that he's facing Ajmal. Does he bat better?
Well, I think it probably would help him, not knowing, the individual, probably give him a bit more confidence. Like I said, it's a lot of, we talked about, not playing the name and playing the ball. But a lot of people can't do that. They still look at the person that is behind the ball, so which is not the best advice. But it happens. It does add a little pressure, and we see it in cricket most times. I always remember Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh, and Franklin Rose and Rion King. And you would see the total difference when those two came out the attack and the two youngsters come on, where the batters felt that they obviously had a lot more freedom because of the less experienced bowlers. But we always tend to look at it as our chance to get wickets, because they would take more chances against us,
So when you played in the United States here in the earlier days, your first couple of days, did you let them know you were Marv Dillon? Oh, chance of a run out, and he is gone. It appears so Kumar goes. And more of enough pressure here to cause some bit of confusion. And all of a sudden, U.S. All-Stars fighting back here.
Fighting back, yeah. That's with the experienced players they have. I'm sure that will be out there. Don't give up until the fat lady sings. And the batting team is not doing themselves any favors with the poor running just now and the shot that was played before. Definitely not good. And like I said, once they kept cool heads, and they seem to be imploding actually. So.
So Ryan Francis comes out here, a couple of quick wickets, and all of a sudden U.S. All-Stars beginning to have some interest in this game as Ryan Francis comes out here at 80 for 6, still 45 to win from 35 balls. But certainly coming back to the psychological issue of batsmen playing a bowler because of the name. When you came here earlier on, did you make your opposition know you're Merv Dillon, or you?
Actually, like I tell people, sometimes when you come down to a lower level, it's a lot more pressure on you because, like a lot of the batters would say to me, Murphy, if you get me out, people expect that. But if I hit you, you know, that's the fun in it, and so it puts a lot more pressure on you actually because they are fearless. You know, they know who they're playing against, and a lot of them approaches like that. They try to get under your skin, but as I said, I totally enjoy because I'm still very competitive, so I still enjoy running around the park. So.
Yes, Merv, and over time, especially at the U.S. Open, we have seen quite a few West Indian fast bowlers around. We've seen you, we've seen Adam Sanford, we've seen Jermaine Lawson.
Yeah, the guy. Well, a few of us still, you know, keep ourselves in shape, so we're able to run around a little bit still. It's not getting any easier.
So Dilhara will come into bowl to Ryan Francis. And Francis gets a good ball, punches it up to short mid-off. The throw comes in. Nearly knocks the umpire down. Muhammad Ali, the umpire. And in the end, a single to Ryan Francis. He gets off the mark and brings the equation down to 44 to win from 34 balls. We were talking earlier on, a couple of wickets could really make this interesting. We've seen a run out. We have seen one snapped up by Ajmal. And all of a sudden here, Murph, 81 for 6, 44 still needed from 34 balls. It can go anyway.
I can tell you it's a totally different story in the batting dressing room right now. I'm sure, you know, you can see the hustle there. And like I said, you know, once you keep cool heads and they lost 2 unnecessary wickets, nothing, you know, they basically gave it to the fielding team. There wasn't anything. Ajmal, as we know, is, you know, he's a champion bowler, but the batters certainly didn't help themselves.
So Ryan Francis is on 1, Brian Gale is on 45. As you made a point, Brian Gale could be a key man here. He's a set batsman. He's been there for some time. He has faced 31 balls.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not golf, and he needs someone at the other end.
So 82 for 6, still 43 needed from 33 balls. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure All-Stars will be hoping that if they can send Gale back and start bowling with some relatively new batsmen, all of a sudden the 40-plus runs becomes quite a bit.
Yeah, and it also puts a lot of pressure on Gale because, I mean, he being the set one, he would probably be thinking not to take too much of a risk right now, so he can't play as freely as he would like because he just lost 2 wickets, and the ideal situation now is obviously to try and get a partnership going, which could also, you know, make a huge difference in terms of balls and runs. So you don't want that to get too far into the double figures.
Certainly, Merv, and of course, we all know sometimes just the mental pressure. Oh, that's a good-looking shot, but we'll only get a single. There's protection out in the deep. And, of course, we know, like you said, as Gale goes up to 46, the pressure could get to his head. And, of course, as they say many, many times, sometimes what happens in the head transfers to the bat and the way you bat. And, of course, it all starts upstairs, 84 for 6.
No, like I always say, pressure is the name of the game, and it all depends. A lot of people, you know, I've played with people who are very talented, and then you have people with less talent, but somehow they deal with the pressure better than the ones with the talent. So it's a very important in cricket where, in terms of learning to handle pressure and dealing with pressure and not panicking. So for now, I mean, it's more the bowlers, the bowling team, you can see their energy. They're running around the park now, which is good because they now feel like they have a chance. So the batting team definitely, they need to just put a partnership together, keep the strike rotating, and, you know, hopefully at the end they have wickets in hand where they can, you know, give it a go.
So 40 runs to win from 30 balls. We'll have to wait and see who will pick up the action here. And it appears to be Junaid. Junaid Siddiqui gets a recall. And so, Marv, what we're seeing here, Junaid Siddiqui has bowled 2 overs. This will be his 3rd spell. Quite typical in T20 matches.
1 over spell?
Of course.
Well, I guess the captain knows what he's doing. You know, he's using him at very strategic points in the match. So, you know, give him some credit, you know. And that's the thing about captaincy, you're allowed to do, follow your plans and not necessarily go with the norm. So being a bit innovative.
So 40 runs needed from 30 balls. Junaid Siddiqui, he comes in here, 2 overs, no made, 1 for 6. Good bowling figures. And he will come in to bowl his third spell. We'll start over number 16. And Merv, as you watch Junaid, he's bowled well in this series. And you'll see what I mean, but he has used the strip here. The strip very conducive to spin bowling. And as you look at him, tell me whose action does he have? As Junaid will come into bowl to Ryan Francis. Francis is on 3 and 40 to win from 30 balls. Take a look. Ball driven up to wide mid-on. We'll get a single as Francis. He goes up to 4. Gale is on 46. It's 86 for 6. And 39 to win from 29 balls. All right, take another look. I'll give you one more ball and then we'll reveal the answer.
I'm seeing Sacklane Mustak, but I'm seeing a bit of a Freedy as well.
Well, you called it right. A Freedy, everyone agrees is a Freedy. So you know your cricket well. Much respect. Ball driven down the ground. Umpires gets out of the way and it goes away for 4. Straight down the ground. A safe place to hit the cricket ball. And it goes away for 4. That brings up the 50 here for Brian Gale. He's batted well. He gets an even 50. It's 90 for 6. A lovely shot, Marv.
Definitely a big shot. It was in the slot, probably a bit too full from him, but definitely Gale, like I said, he's key here, and he seems to be handling the pressure.
So 35 to win from 28 balls. Oh, that's another wayward delivery going down the leg side from Junaid. And hammered away by Brian Gale. He picks up another 4. It's 54 to him. 31 needed from 27 balls.
Well played to Gale. As I said, he seemed to be handling the pressure well. He doesn't seem to be bothered. And credit must go to him. As you said, this young man is a very good bowler. And based on how he's been bowling thus far, the first shot was absolute blinder straight down the ground. And then a very interesting shot to the leg side. I mean, the ball was there. It was all on leg stump. So credit to young Gale.
So 9 in the over so far in just 3 balls. We've seen 2 consecutive 4s, and Gale has gone up to 54. Oh, that's another good-looking shot through the offside this time. 3 4s in a row. And the shots are beginning to get better here from Brian Gale. It's 98 for 6, Marv. So 98 for 6, 27 to win from 26 balls. And Merv, I know you have to take your leave, but it's always a pleasure having you as you get ready to prepare the Indian Lions for their match against 22 yards.
Yeah, definitely. I have to go downstairs to help my guys get ready, but I should be back. So.
All right, good, and hope to see you play a game at least in the tournament. So that would mean Lions will have to win tonight.
And I'm very confident that my boys will give me a chance to play a game tomorrow. So.
So final ball coming up as Junaid comes in now to bowl. Oh, that's another big shot. It clears. It clears long on. And it goes for a U.S. Open maximum off the bat of Brian Gale. He goes up to 64 and brings the equation down to 21 to win from 24 balls.
Why are you encouraging me to lose Mervyn from here? Mervyn, we're going to put your name on the back of this chair. You'll be back. You will be back.
So things have gone Florida Strikers' way, and they need 21 from 24 balls as we welcome Ivor Henry into the box.
Yes, and the game has come to where we can say we're getting safer landing, or it's going to be a rough landing. I thought that Masood would have given away his strike, but I don't know. I think Masood probably should have been reserved for the finisher, but we have Gale there, and at least I was not on mic for the 50, but we seem to be doing much, much better in terms of batsmen getting out of the 40s. And Gale batting beautifully, 38 deliveries. He's on 64. Doing it for the Florida Strikes. They're striking. And they started off slowly, but surely they're really making a match of it. And they're really trying to overhaul a total of 125 for victory. Winner stays in, loser take a bow, nothing to be shameful of, but losers go home.
So Najaf Shah comes in here with 21 needed from 24 balls. Not a good over from Junaid Siddiqui. He gave up some 19 runs in that over. And remember that over number 16. It has certainly changed the game in favor of the batting team.
And to think they target one of the better bowlers, my word.
So Najaf Shaw comes in from the far end of the ground. It's 104 for 6. And 21 needed from 24 balls. So 21 needed from 23 balls, Ivor?
Yes, there's a race for 4 wickets or 21 runs, or which will it be? Or we can count the balls. We have, what, some...
23.
16.1. So 23 delivers and 4 wickets.
So Francis is on 4. Najaf Shaw, 1 for 6. Oh, ball goes down the leg side. Will be called a wide. It is.
And that is helping the cause of the Florida Strikes. Is not helping the cause of the bowling team. You don't want to give it away like that. Naughty, naughty, naughty. The batter just had nothing absolutely to do with that, knowing that you have got to bowl an extra ball. But 1-1 would be credited to the team.
So Brian Gale is on 64. He's batted well. And as we've been told, certainly from our stats people here, Brianna and David Maitland, they're telling us that Brian Gale could be at almost top of the heap.
And keep in mind that there's going to be a man of the match for every match. So bear in mind whoever would have caused the match at whatever point to turn on its head. I think that's the person they will be looking at.
So the top 5 run scorer coming into today's game were the likes of Farhat. He has 162 runs. He has a game in the stadium later on. Rohan Mohite with 118 runs. Brian Gale came into the stadium today with 113 runs. He is 64 not out. Adrian, 112 runs, and Sohail Marchant with 111 runs. Ball played up towards the onside. We'll wait and see. Leg by is the call from umpire Muhammad Ali.
In that peculiar fashion, he just raises the leg and give you side on and say, if you can't see me straight in front of you, you must be able to see me side on.
Yes, yes, Ivor, and we should allow our viewers to note he is not the Muhammad Ali, he is a Muhammad Ali.
Yes, partnered there by Samuels, staying in this critical position, busy man.
And I've got to say the umpiring in this tournament has been of a very, very high standard. And in fact, you and I were talking a little bit earlier on. They look like the elite panel of the ICC. Very well uniformed, and certainly we've seen some very sound decisions. We haven't heard too many complaints from the players, and that is because the umpires are handling their top level job quite well.
Yes, indeed. That was a good delivery there. It was quite pacey, probably pitching just outside leg stump, as we would say, a free hit, but it cannoned into the boot of Gale. Gale may have thought he was missed out there, but the bowler too thought he would have missed out. He thought he had him yorked.
So under pressure is U.S. All-Stars, 19 to win from 20 balls. Najaf Shah runs into bowl to Brian Gale. Gale is on 64. Make that 65 and brings the equation down to 18 to win from 19 balls.
Yes, even Steven balls are fighting hard to outdo the runs, but I think in 2020 format, more often than not, the runs would outdo the balls. So advantage, I'll say Florida Strikes, but you never know. You never know.
So Ryan Francis has played a good hand. He's on 4 not out. He is only on 4, but when you look at the partnership between the pairs, 27, so that cricket, of course. Oh, it passes the keeper. We'll wait and see. There's a big appeal. And it goes away for 4 byes. So 4 byes?
No, runs. He got an edge onto that. I mean, 4 runs. So they're appealing, but that ball, the wicketkeeper did all he can to avert the stop. It was none of his fault. He kept all along the ground, and sometimes with the keeper with the big gloves they're hard to catch up with those that roll along the ground.
I thought the appeal was for a leg before, so when I see the ball run away towards the boundary, didn't even look up to what the umpires will signal. But 4 runs off the bat of Ryan Francis. He goes up to 8 and brings the equation down to 14 to win from 18 balls.
And we're not going to thought it's 111. The Nelson is on the board.
So U.S. All-Stars, can they defend 14 runs with 4 wickets in hand, 18 balls remaining?
It's getting tight and it's getting tighter and tighter. But there, at one point, the strikes, they were in a vice. They were losing wickets and they were off to a slow start. But it's not how you start, it's how you end. Last night, we would have witnessed 7 runs for 4 wickets. And they would have defended 122 runs, I think it is. So here it is, Ajmal. Around the wicket. The batsman is covering nicely, respecting him for all his worth. He's in his last over in 2020 cricket. A bowler can only bowl 4 overs, so that is his allotment. He has 5 legal delivery left, and he's going to do all his work. He needs some 4 wickets, 5 balls to get those 4 wickets. Let us see. And Gale is coming after him, and he's going high and hard in the air. There's a fielder running in from the trail. He's getting under it. He takes the catch, and that was very ill-advised. He had 5 deliveries, and he could have rode him out, but the experience of Ajmal invited him with a nice loopy one, and instead of bringing it home, he was trying to be the hero, and to his demise, and the Florida strike demise, he walks back a dejected man. But the captain now has got to bring the ship home. It's time for captain's knock. He's just on the stroke of the Nelson. And something always happens when the Nelson goes on the board. 1-1-1 for 7. But it's a good knock. I don't think that he's going to feel too well with himself. He should have been able to take it home. But for whatever it's worth, he would have done his bit. I do not think that he was trying to get out there, but it was an ill-advised stroke. He wanted to hit the former Test bowler, Ajmal, out of the ground. It had the height. It never, ever had the distance. The guy took a good catch, running in from square leg, and he gets a warm round of applause for his efforts because at the time when he went to the bat, they were really in a spot of bother. Lenny.
Oh, yes, that's a good catch from number 13. He appears to be a substitute fielder. I think Orlando Johnson is off the field, so number 13 is a substitute fielder. Orlando Johnson is not on the field, so we would have loved to give the credit to the number 13 and wish we know your name, but certainly we don't have that information. So a well-judged catch. Is that the catch can turn things around here for All-Stars? We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, well, Ajmal still has some, 4 deliveries. They're searching for 3 wickets.
So
but the guy, number 13, he came with fresh legs. He got in there fresh as a rose.
So Shane Ford, it appears, is the batsman out in the middle. And they stay their ground. So what a catch there from number 13. It is catch like that can win you cricket matches.
Yes, but a dot goes in the book. And at this stage of the game, a dot is like gold dust at this time.
So 14 to win from 15 balls. This match is coming down to the wire. Oh, an ill-advised shot playing across the line of a very quality delivery here from a man who has played at the international level and has done well there while he was. 14 to win from 14 balls. Ajmal has 3 wickets in the bag already. He's bowling a 3 for 9.
And he has 2 deliveries left. Can he get a 5 for?
Well, it's 2 delivery to end this spell, and we'll have to wait and see. Is it 2 delivery to end his run in the series? We'll never know. If they win, he continues to play. If they lose, that's his couple of balls. And this one is worked away. Well played. Beats Akeem Dotson, and it goes away for 4. What a shot here from Shane Ford. He finds the gap.
No, not Shane Ford. Not Shane Ford.
Ryan Francis it is, sorry.
Yes.
And he goes up to 12. Is 115 for 7.
Yes, Shane Ford, the skipper. The batters would have crossed when Gale would have given away his hand. But Ajmal... Folks, if he doesn't make it to the next round, this is the last delivery you would see of him in the tournament. Let's watch and wait. And this time he's appealing to one down the leg side, and That's the end of a beautiful spell from Ajmal, and his fans are hoping that they will go on to win. If that's not going to be the case, this is going to be the last time you're going to be seeing him bowling in this tournament. My word. But he would have graced us with his presence. He had a good spell. It seems as if I'm speaking in the past, but for whatever it's worth, we all are rooting to see some more of Ajmal. Thanks again to ESPN3. This has been streaming live right around the world, so Ajmal has been seen by millions. He's not done and dusted. He is at this time of his career lending us some of his experience right here at Central Board Regional Park, and how we welcome that. You go far. I'm telling you, he is such a dream. At one time, tell him what he was.
So Shane Ford will be the man on strike here. We'll come back here, Ivor, as Najaf Shah put into the hot seat here to defend 10 off 12 balls, and Ajmal, in fact, did exceptionally well. One of the quickest Pakistani bowler to have gotten a 100 test wicket in quick time. Certainly overtaken by Yasir Shah. And ball driven up towards the offside. They go through for one. That's all they'll get. And every run count here. That's a valuable single. And Shane Ford goes up. He gets off the mark at 1. Ryan Francis is on 12. And so 9 needed from 11 balls. 9 from 11.
It's a race to the finish line. I'm not going to put the wickets column out of it as yet. 3 wickets for the bowling team, and they are in search of wickets and dot balls at this time.
So Najaf Shah gave them a very good start. He got a wicket off the very first ball, but different situation now. Oh, he swung it around to square leg. An easy single, a single that brings them closer to 125. 8 runs needed from 10 balls. Ryan Francis is on 13. It's 117 for 7. Shane Ford is on 1.
Okay.
And so 8 runs needed from 10 balls. Shane Ford is on 1. He's the man on strike. 7 wickets gone. It's 117 for 7, Ivor.
Yes, and a good contest here. Look at this. This is going to be, and they're going to be, no, they're not going to be able to get over chores because Shane Ford would have gone past the non-strikers in there. But I'm telling you, that was a risky run there. But Shane Ford, he's known for that. We just have to make sure that his partner is up to it. That was a non-existent run that they turned into a single. But you have got to get your wheels on once you're batting with Shane Ford.
So 7 runs, 7 from 9 balls. Francis on strike. He's played a couple of big taps during the course of his 13. It's 118 for 7. 7 runs needed from 9 balls. 6 runs will tie it. Oh, he balled him. He cleans him up. Francis goes for 13. It's 118 for 8. Najaf Shah strikes. He gets his second wicket. He's bowling a 2 for 16. Ryan Francis has to go. He falls for 13. It's 118 for 8.
Yes, and I said I'm not going to take the wicket column off the table as of yet. Just 2 wickets to go. And what a time to lose the wicket. And those 2 wickets could be vital because Francis had his eye in. But here it is again. Lucky 13 would have become an unlucky 13 for Francis.
So it appears Forbes is going out to the middle. Shaquille Forbes.
And he got injured earlier in and then came and bowled a magnificent spell. So this guy has guts. He's no skeleton. And let us see what a way if he can bring it home. Having stayed the duration to bowl his 4 overs, having been on the ground for almost 5 minutes, you can see he was hurt badly. He's took one for the team, and now he's going to be joining his skipper, trying to bring the ship to the dock.
So 7 to win from 8 balls. 6 will tie it.
Yes.
And Ivor, one of the reason I, among other things that one day cricket came into being is to prevent draws. And so no draw here.
No, but you can get a tie, and then we'll have a super over.
So Shaquille Forbes comes in here at 118 for 8. 7 runs needed for a win, 6 for a tie. And 8 balls remaining. Najaf Shaw with a wicket in the bag.
Well, his radar is on for the left-handers, and look at this, another left-hander has gone into bat. So let us see what Shaw would do. He got a wicket with his first delivery of this inning.
So a short offside field for him.
Oh, it's bowled him! It's bowled him. I'm saying he yorked him. Like we say, he's the man with the golden arm. And Shane Ford would have taken that single, and he would have gone off strike, and he would have exposed Shaquille and Francis. And now we see, could be possibly a hat-trick. We're going to see if our engineer, Paul Moore, is going to swing that on the board, because it's possible a hat-trick. We would have witnessed a hat-trick already here, and it's getting more and more exciting here. And for you viewers out there in at ESPN who is following the streaming, hold your breath. Hold your breath. We're down to 1 wicket, and we're still needing some...
7 off 7.
7 off 7. So look at the equation.
So
this is what...
So Smith comes out. Last man standing here. And the fact is, Najaf Shaw still has 1 more ball to bowl. And Ivor, many things here about this last ball coming up. Number 1, he's on a hat-trick.
He's on a hat-trick.
Number 2, could be the last ball of the series.
For him.
This is the last ball of his bowling spell.
And it could be for a series if they lose.
So this ball has at least 3 implications rolled into 1 delivery here from Najaf Shaw. The batsman will be Smith, and Jamie Smith will be the batsman. Najaf Shaw on a hat-trick, 7 in 7.
Possibly a hat-trick. It's showing on the scoreboard. And all the cameras are out. All the cameras out. They're pointing. They're trying to capture this possible hat-trick ball. Number 11 is on strike. Shane Ford, the captain, is at the end. Stand aimlessly as he comes in. Bowls over. And this time he plays it back along the track. So the hat-trick has been averted. And that's the end of his spell. And I can say remarkable spell by the young man.
So Najaf Shaw, 3 for 15 of his 4. And as we made the point, it's either that's his last ball of this match or is the last ball of the series. We'll wait and see. We'll see who will pick up the attack here. It appears to be Dilhara.
And the skipper is in the driver's seat, and all of the weight is coming down on Captain Shane's head. He would have called right. He elected to field, so he has now got to go and defend what he allowed them to make.
So Shane Ford on 2. And perhaps it has no relevance how much he's on.
Yeah, exactly. That is out the window.
The fact is they need 7 from 6 balls. Dilhara has been given the ball. And Dilhara here, Ivor, could be hero or villain.
Yes, but he's yet to get in the wicket column. But if he can get this wicket here, I think he'll be the best wicket of his life. And of maybe of this tournament for him. Because he has 6 balls to get 1 wicket. So he's going to have 6 tries unless they get to the 7 before. What an interesting position. It is really getting exciting here. Most of the people are standing. The cameras are out. And I think we're going to have a rush onto the field. Whoever wins, we're going to see an invasion. We have to get security.
So Shane Ford on strike. He's faced 4 balls. He's on 2. 7 needed. And here is Dilhara. Starts to move in. 7 runs to get. Oh, he gets a good ball, a slow ball. And a dot ball registered in the book. So 7 from 5. So to decide the last over, what options did Raza had? Najaf Shah finished up. Ajmal also, he bowled his 4. Zishan Qureshi had a couple more. Junaid Sadiq had 1. Orlando Johnson has 1. And Orlando Johnson is off the field at present. Oh, a big swing and a miss. So a couple of good balls here from Dilhara.
Yes, a slow delivery. He's taking pace off the ball, and Shane Ford saw it, and his eyes lit up, thought he could have been the hero, trying to get 6 to tie. But he has got to play the ball on its merit. But sometimes you've got to just take the bull by the horn. The skipper would have called right, elected to field. Now he has to bat for his life.
So 7 remaining from 4 balls. Oh, it goes up to short square leg. The scamper one. And they make sure that the new batsman in the leg bias the call, but that's not relevant. It's a run on the board.
Well, now it gets very interesting because the number 11 is being exposed. And last night we witnessed a team who at 7 for 4 wickets, and the third ball and the fourth ball, the batter would have refused 2 singles. Imagine this came down where they started refusing singles.
So Smith on strike, 6 needed from 3 balls. Here is Smith. Oh, he plays it up towards the offside there. Run through for 1. Good running.
Oh, well, he would have done his bat. The play was called from the dugout for a bunt, and he did bunt to get Shane Ford back on strike. So the call was answered. Jamie Smith would have done his bit. Now he put it back into the hands of the captain. So if the ship happened to wreck, he's going to put it all on Shane Ford from here on in. He has got to take all of the strike. Now, there's no more quick singles.
So 5 to win from 2 balls. Delhara runs in from the pavilion there. And a big swing and a miss from Shane Ford.
He's not looking at the ball. I don't think he's looking. Now he needs a 6 to win.
So
I don't think they're going to be running 5. So the equation has come down now. But let us turn to the bowler. The bowler is the one who should be getting the credit here. We're expecting Shane Ford to make this run. So aren't we expecting the bowler to keep things tight? I think we have to be, right in keel here.
So five runs remaining off the last ball here as Delhara.
Oh, and the bowler is cleaning him up. My goodness, my word. And Shane Ford, I don't know if he's going to be walking to the dugout here. I am sorry that I had to scream. He got so exciting here. We've got to give the bowlers some credit. They held their nerves. Shane Ford, the captain who was there, should have taken it home. He flew all the way, and when he's ready to land the plane, he crash landed. Well, we're going to have a presentation after this downstairs. The man of the match, we're going to be having to look through the scorecard. The adjudicators, they're going to have some work to do. Well, I can tell you here, we have not seen the last of Ajmal. So for those viewers who are looking on the stream, thought that if he would have lost, yes, if he would have lost, that would have been the end of the tournament for him. But he lived to survive, and we will be seeing Siddiqui some more and the likes of Ajmal. It's a good win. They defended well. They did not bat it particularly well, but they held their nerves, and it came right down to the wire, down to the last ball. So everyone should have something to be proud of. The players are going out to meet the players. Well done. Take a bow, take a bow, take a bow. There's nothing to be ashamed of. This is what 2020 is all about, like we said. Someone has got to win. Someone has got to lose. There is no draw in 2020 cricket. So what I can say here, we're going to have a presentation downstairs immediately after these shake hands, handshake, and all the good stuff. But I can tell you, my word, 2020 cricket here at Central Borough Regional Park, and we're inviting all of you who are in the vicinity to come on in. We still have 2 more matches left in the night. We're going to be on the lights shortly. There's no threat of rain. Cricket, lovely cricket. My word. Let me go catch my breath. We're going to take it on pause. We wait for the presentation.
Welcome to the presentation ceremony for quarterfinal number 2, and let me immediately say congratulations to the U.S. All-Stars. A round of applause, guys. Well, the spectators are saying that that was actually the best game of the tournament so far, the most exciting games. And it's always wonderful when you look up in the stand next to the pavilion and see people cheering on. I think the support, though, was with the Florida Strikers. And unfortunately, they didn't turn out the winners. They're not going to go to the semifinals, but I think they also deserve a round of applause. Well, the man of the match today, it was a pretty difficult decision for the adjudicators because Captain Raza did bat well, held the innings together and got 46. But at the toss, when I spoke to him, he said that there is a young man who could make a big difference to his team, and that is Najaf Shah. And he is our man of the match for 4 for 15. Ajaf, you're not going to run away. You're going to come here. Congratulations. Your captain seems to have a lot of faith in you. You're speaking about reverse swing. Did you get reverse swing, and this is what led to 4 for 15?
Yeah, you know, my captain, he played a lot with me, so he know me better. You know, I mean, when you perform well and your team win, nothing better than this. So I am very thankful to everybody who's supporting me here, and special team captain Hassan Raza is doing really well. Team is doing really well. Saeed Ajmal, he's bowling really well. So it's team effort, and we are winning the matches.
Wonderful. And how it's like playing in the U.S. Open?
This is not new for me. I was here last year, and I'm playing around like in Dallas, in Chicago, and in Washington. So U.S. is not new for me, and it's good. Cricketers coming over here, and they are playing. They are sharing the experience with the local players here. It's good.
Well, you speak just as well as you bowl. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And before we close, the U.S. All-Stars are now into the semifinals. So probably I would like to invite the vice captain of this team, Zishan Qureshi, who's telling me that he has a shoulder injury. One hopes that he can still speak. Zishan, congratulations. Of course, when you went in there, I was on commentary and I said you brought a certain energy towards the end of the innings with your batting. And obviously, you know, into the semifinals. Any preferential team?
The winner of quarterfinals 3. Indian Lions are 22 yards.
You have a score to settle with them?
No, I just like to play competitive cricket and beat the top teams, so hopefully we get to play them in the semifinals.
Well, I think you have a certain record. You're probably the only player who have played in all the U.S. Open tournaments thus far. How you rate this one?
Obviously, it's one of the biggest U.S. Opens. I like it because there's less teams, so it's a more exclusive competition. So higher competition, higher quality players.
And just tell us a bit about the injury moving forward. Are you going to play tomorrow? Are you available?
Yes, I'll play tomorrow. I don't stop. No injury holds me back, so I'll ice up tonight and be on the field tomorrow.
Well, that's the attitude, and I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Well, you've heard it there. You've heard it there from the vice. One of the players who speaks well, so he may be out of a job pretty soon. Soon we have